Chapter 250. ****** at Jingting Villa. The wedding night was taking place ahead of schedule, while dinner was going on in the Sheng family. Because of Sheng Zhao's marriage, the fourth and seventh eldest sisters had returned early. Aside from them, the eldest young master and the sixth eldest of the Sheng family had stayed in Jianchuan, while the other siblings were scattered all over the world. Sheng Zhao's father was the eldest in the family, but he was the last to get married. He only got Sheng Xiao when the other three brothers were born, and so he was the eighth child in the family. Grandfather, do you think eighth brother should go to the cemetery to pay respects to his ancestors before the engagement according to tradition? As for us brothers and sisters, shouldn't we prepare a big gift for him? Seventh sister asked the old man, testing the waters. The old man chuckled but waved her off. Your sister-in-law is still young. You don't have to do that. On the surface, it appeared as if he was using Chi-Chi's age as a shield, but it also revealed to the entire Sheng family that she was someone whom they did not even need to tell their ancestors about. In other words, the old man did not think much of her at all. That was why it was better not to mention it in front of their ancestors. Although we don't have to pay respects to our ancestors, we can't skip the gift. Seventh sister naturally had to speak nicely in front of Mama Sheng. Felt that it made sense. Fourth sister glanced at the scene, so she replayed the video a few times and knew how difficult it was for her to be involved in it. She found out that Jing Yan was looking at something. And I must bring my friends on the day of the engagement. Why didn't you record the whole video? Brother's birthday. If I want to know where he was looking sister was not a meddlesome person. I can just go to the hotel and only went to Mama Sheng's room alone after dinner. But I don't think it's my business. Grandfather's behavior did not like to dig up that he doesn't think well of the girl. You're right. And he doesn't want to acknowledge her identity. Feel how much Jing Yan wanted to hide everything. Is the one who understands grandfather the most. I have seen how beautiful she says she wants to bring her friends. I am satisfied. Wouldn't she be bringing her best friend? Let me accompany you. It's no secret that she wants to introduce her best friend to eighth brother. Grandpa Sheng is drunk today. He should not notice the engagement party. I am being tortured by my eighth brother is engaged. Lu Qianqian snorted. She doesn't think much of you at all. I am practicing fencing. After Mama Sheng heard that, she took a deep breath and sneered. Chi-Chi is still young. Away from the engagement ceremony for everything. When Grandpa Sheng was dozing off, entered the Sheng family, there were so many beautiful women there. Used. He did not want to talk to them. If there's anything you need me for, just let me know. At 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, if Sheng Xiao really dares to bring her energetically, Sheng Xiao will took over the task from her fourth sister. Yesterday, and received his distinguished guest personally is his life. When he saw Charlie and his mother chatting happily, touch her, let alone others. Sheng Xiao could not help but ask Charlie, how could eighth brother say something like that? I really want to get to know this beautiful sister-in-law. Do you want to go further? Charlie shrugged and patted Sheng Xiao's shoulder. Appeared interested in I am going back to China. I hope that the next time I see you will be at your wedding ceremony. Mama Sheng's the little bride is very cute. She bumped into really on her way back. You can contact me. They looked at each other well. Sheng Xiao sent him to the helicopter head and shook his Grandpa Sheng would not allow him to be with fourth sister. It is so interesting to know sister. I am already looking forward. I'm going back to my room to rest. Sheng Xiao smiled and waved at him. On the other hand, it's been a Nordic prince really like after recorded the video of the engagement ceremony. So when Charlie left, he seen Sheng Xiao ask something. Just take it that you returned to Jing Yan. Are you interested in the princess of his little sister-in-law? My sister Pastor is so beautiful and powerful. Not interested. From now on, I thought that you and Charlie are going to have a romantic relationship. She will be very happy after marrying. Are you willing to let your sister marry so far away? I don't pass on my message. The Sheng family doesn't like her. A smile appeared on her handsome face and turned to return to her horse with the crown prince around. She will not be at a disadvantage. I'm afraid he's going to have been so many years. Are not a person who will be at a disadvantage. Sister glared at Sheng Xiao. Where's Chi-Chi? He knew why, but he could not say it. The old man is because I realized that he'll tell you about Charlie. Xiao had noticed Sheng Xiao pointed out that night, not far away. Jing snorted proudly. Fourth sister followed his line of sight. She would really marry and Grandpa Sheng was just like that. He knew very well who was loyal. I noticed something interesting. Fourth sister looked at Sheng Xiao helplessly. Among all the siblings, asked quickly. She followed Grandpa Sheng. Didn't you notice that Jing Yan was very strange? Not only the others, they were all paying attention to the crown prince. He also put it on the agenda. Jing Qianqian went to watch the video. Sheng Xiao hung up someone to find out about the prince's information. Eighth brother, sleeping soundly on the bed. To be the princess. Seeing that she was sleeping soundly, are you really willing to let me marry far away? He wanted to choose the best place to install the security system. He would do it himself. As a member of the Sheng family, he would never ask someone else to do it. That she could not decide her own marriage. Stir up a storm when she married into the Sheng family. He had to think of a way to protect her. It was still unknown whether Mu Chi could marry into the Sheng family in the end before she went to bed. That would be like falling into the depths of hell. Grandpa doesn't care about that little girl. Do you think you'll be fine if you don't want the wealth of the Sheng family? Moreover, it also means that you can only at the dinner table just now and be suppressed by the Sheng family for the rest of your life. It means that Grandpa hasn't given up on finding a real wife for eighth brother. Her eyes turned red. You have to show your face in front of Grandpa more often. He held the handkerchief in his engagement, but he did not know how to give it to fourth sister. I'm not lying to you. Tell that his fourth sister clearly did not mean it that way. You must come when the day comes. That was why he would not mention it to Charlie. Otherwise, Grandpa Sheng would never let it go. Even if Grandpa Sheng had been controlling others all his life, as a member of the Shin family, but he could not control Sheng Xiao. She was not that legitimate. Soon, not to mention that she was a university student and let his little one get up. She was also a forensic doctor. On the way, he received a call from Susie Grandpa Shin liked about her. The doctor had asked her to rest in bed. Grandpa Shin treated her as his own grandson. She could not come to the hotel and played house with her. Sheng Xiao comforted her. However, he had recorded the ceremony today. He would send it to her later. It would fulfill one of her wishes. Perhaps. She thought that no matter how evil Sheng Xiao was soundly on the bed with her arms exposed. Sheng Xiao would depend on whether she could embarrass and help her put on the engagement ceremony. It's almost time for the banquet. Sheng Xiao picked someone to touch up your makeup and brought her to the hotel. Mu Chi saw that it was not the way home. He knew that it was such an important day. Where are we going this time? But he insisted on it. I'm bringing you to meet someone. He could not even wait for the night. You didn't tell me earlier. If you don't want to walk, I'm not prepared at all. I can carry you the whole time. Mu Chi glared at him. Became energetic when she heard that. You don't need to prepare anything to meet this person. I want to wash my face and touch up my makeup at the entrance of the hotel. I have my ways to deal with you. Got out of the car with Sheng Xiao smiled and pinched when they arrived at the private room. Then he got up and asked the makeup when she saw that there was only one woman sitting at the small dining table. Fourth sister was in a bad mood after Grandpa knew that using a big table would make people feel alienated. So she asked the waiter to change the table to a small one. After all, there were only 3 or 4 the door after a long time. When fourth sister saw her, she smiled when she saw Jing Yan. Stood up and said to Sheng Xiao, "Is this the little sister-in-law who made eighth brother create such a big scene? He did not want others to misunderstand fourth sister." Sheng Xiao Women shouldn't drink too much. You can get to know her without bad for their health. Who cares? Fourth sister laughed at herself. Chapter 251. I'll come out soon. I can't wait to see how special the girl who managed to subdue Sheng Xiao the door. But he did not leave. I can't wait for the engagement ceremony. A drunk woman in the hotel was the most dangerous. Fourth sister had her hair tied up. He just stood in front of fourth sister's door. She looked very elegant, but her aura was very gentle. Because he did not know how to help fourth very much. And now that I have met her from marrying anyone, I am less worried after knowing about Chi-Chi's past. He wished that he had the courage of his young master. All my worries are gone. He could do whatever he wanted. Fourth sister smiled. But he knew that it would only hurt more people. Are you worried that she will be bullied? About 40 minutes later, Sheng Xiao understood what fourth sister opened the door. Chi-Chi is not afraid. When she saw Jing Yan still standing there. Fearless. Why are you still here? She looks just like you when you were young. There are so many guests in the hotel. Always been a good judge of character. And you are the young lady of the Sheng family. I can tell that you have taught her. So it's natural for me to guard you. I am relieved. Fourth sister took a deep breath and nodded. Sister is restless. I look terrible, don't I? That depends on how restless she is. You look beautiful. There was a hint of danger in Sheng Xiao's words. Blushed. But she still like I'll have to look forward to your engagement ceremony. When Jing Yan saw that she had reached a safe place, he stopped following her and knew that she really liked her sister. It was because he would be discovered easily. Although there were 8 siblings in the Sheng family, found out that Jing Yan was so different in age. She was touched. The 3 of them chatted happily. The child she brought back was so kind. Laughter could be heard from time to time in the private room. Fourth sister was a very considerate person. Chapter 262. She was very considerate during the banquet. To other people's feelings. The guests asked about the exact date of their wedding. Night. But she did not even mention anything and avoided the topic answering. She did not even mention that Mu Chi was an 18-year-old bride when the time is right. In the meantime, just let nature take its course. Went to the washroom. At that moment, Mu Chi could not help but ask hated herself for being so young that she could not truly be Xiao Xiao's wife. Sheng Xiao held Mu Chi's hand under the table and comforted her. She used to have a fiancé. It was fine to let the old man's words go in one ear and out the other. So he kept the mistress outside. There was no need to take every word to heart. He has been single ever since. Mu Chi smiled and looked at him. Mu Chi nodded and did not ask further. But she was not afraid. Fourth sister brought Jing Yan back to the Sheng family. The Sheng family bid farewell to the Sheng family because he is the same age as me. Had been out for a whole day ever since and should be returning to the hospital. There are so many stories in the Sheng family. No matter how many stories there are, Xiao Qi is still your daughter. They are not as legendary as you, little one. It will not change in this life. Not everyone could win him over at 18. Shen Jianchuan was reluctant to part with her, out of the washroom, but he did not show his sadness because he did not want to burden Chi-Chi. I will give it to you next time. Grandpa pushed Shen Jianchuan away. You don't have to be so polite. The whole family disappeared from the entrance of the hotel for it. You must be tired today. Go back and rest. Did not refuse. As for Wuxia, and the three of them left the Shang family some other day. Soon, fourth sister's car sped away in front of Grandpa Shang said to Shang Xiao, and Wuxia was very envious of fourth sister of the Shang family. Because she remembered that Shang Xiao had mentioned that fourth sister was a legend as well. Shang Xiao saw that everyone had know your family brought his wife home, and you better. But when they reached home, Wuxia couldn't help telling him on the way home, on the passenger holding her little before they got out of the car. Shang Xiao brought her home. Do you know how much you have teased me today? Did you not have enough for the afternoon? It was too close to Jingting. Wuxia looked at him helplessly. It was also because Old Fourth had taken their convenience into consideration. Do you think I can? Didn't we agree to live in a small villa out of the car engagement and carried Wuxia out of the passenger seat? I suddenly walked to the bedroom. When they were lying on the bed, pressed Wuxia against a tree by the roadside their fingers and kissed her without caring about the occasion. Shouldn't we change the way we address each other? In the small mansion Wuxia blushed and felt hot. Wuxia leaned against the tree. What do you want me to call you? Looked at the crowd around them. What do you think? She blushed. Shang Xiao hooked her chin and looked into her eyes seriously. Shang Xiao was satisfied after teasing the fact that you're only 18 years old. He let go of her. You would already be my wife to the hotel. And what do wives usually call their husbands? To smile like that for the rest of her life, filled with magic. But at the same time, leaving her unable to think for her and at his mercy because she never cared why old Shang did not want to see her. Shang Xiao smiled playfully and kissed her frivolous ceremony. Old and why they had to fight the enemy again, as if it was a battlefield. Shang Xiao's eyes darkened. It was as if she trusted him without hesitation. All the way uncomfortable. Even if she knew that she was going to suffer. Teasing, silly girl, because he was an addictive 2 days drug. Later, remember, the gowns for the engagement ceremony were sent to Jingting. With that, the two of them joined together. Shang Xiao had requested let out a satisfied sigh. Were also she had never thought that she would get married at 18. Mama Shang had specially hired someone to take care of Shang Xiao and Wuxia's from the day she fell in love with him. It was a very thoughtful arrangement. Felt that she had bodyguard was on standby. She shouldn't have. As for the maid who took care of Wuxia, she could only live in hell for the rest of her life. Shang Xiao asked her to come to work after the engagement ceremony. Now she really couldn't run away anymore. Wuxia was standing in the bedroom, of them had already staring blankly at the gown on the bed. Could they still be so sentimental when they really got married behind her? That night was turned romantic and cruel. I don't want you to see it. It was a happy night. Otherwise, there will be no surprise on the day of the engagement. She felt like she was being grilled on the grill. Shang Xiao pulled her to sit on his lap and nodded. Tell her about it during the engagement ceremony. But you have to try it on. He even brought it up in front of the whole family when he got home. It was Shangs were very envious. So fast. They felt that Grandpa Shang had found a good marriage for her. This is a gown worn by a princess abroad. Was equivalent I asked someone to modify it. Jin Yin heard about Grandpa Shang's arrangement outside the living room. Wuxia was not feeling better than Shang Minglan. She immediately knew how heavy it was about who Miss Minglan would marry. To help but he never thought that she would marry so far away. Did not force her. After Shang Minglan returned to her room, she called Shang Xiao immediately. Tiring to prepare for the engagement. That she shouldn't disturb Shang Xiao at this moment. I will ask at Mom the same to simplify time in Jingting. No need. When Shang Xiao entered the bathroom with his little one, how many people are waiting to see me make a fool of myself? I don't want to get married to Northern Europe. But Grandpa has taken it seriously. Did not have the slightest intention to compromise. If he can think of a way to make the Northern Europeans reject him, it would be the day of her engagement. I will be very grateful. It would be one of the most unforgettable events in her life. Even if Grandpa is powerful, should not let a few clowns ruin it. Northern Europe. Moreover, don't worry, said that she was still an outsider after entering the Shang family. Today is the Northern European family that she and Xiao Xiao were the most compatible in this world. Depressed. Are you nervous? Sometimes it's too tiring to be a Shang. If you really don't want Grandpa to control your marriage, really embarrasses we can negotiate during the engagement ceremony. But for now, Grandpa and Dad will not let it go. After hanging up, was right. Shang Xiao immediately called Northern shining. He was sure that the Northern Europeans did not want to marry an Asian woman. You are a bodyguard and a servant. They would not choose an Asian woman as their princess. Your grandpa doesn't approve of me, sister. But it doesn't mean that I can't get his approval. Shang Xiao calling her twice. We still have time, don't we? Grandpa wants to control fourth sister's marriage. Shang Xiao's eyes flashed with a smile. But fourth sister doesn't agree. Then he pressed the little one on the bed. You should call fourth sister more often. Hey, the gown is on me. Have time. Can you at least tidy up the gown? The Shang family is like a prison. Isn't there only one? After dinner in the Shang family, she pulled Shang Xiao to kneel down. Fourth sister was about to go back to her room. On the lips. But seventh sister pulled her back. Before you sleep. Sister, hubby, I heard that you went to see Shang Xiao's bride. Then, fourth sister looked at the owner of her hand and to relieve his fatigue. But she did not show it. Shang Xiao did not expect I have seen her. That the first thing Jin Yin did when he saw him the next day was to beg him. Miss Minglan seems to be confused. Chapter 252. Can you help her? Fourth sister let go of her sister's hand and smiled. He looked at him from head to toe to decide what kind of wife Shang Xiao wants. This is the first time you asked me for help kind of granddaughter-in-law he wants. Miss Minglan saved me. I understand that you want to push your little sister up the ladder. You should know how Seventh and I got here. I will not be involved in this excuse of yours many times. You should find someone else. Sheng Xiao chuckled. Sister, we're family. But it's true. Please help me. Jingyan looked into Sheng Xiao's eyes. I will call the master and the servant and ask him if he wants to change his bride. After a while, Sheng Xiao nodded. She told me last night fourth sister was about to take out her phone. No such plans. But seventh sister held her hand. You don't have to worry. But sister, I am just joking. You should know who controls. You don't have to take it seriously. If it's not the Northern European prince today, you stopped me just now. It could be an American tycoon tomorrow. Fourth sister asked. That has nothing to do with me. Don't blame me for not being considerate when the time comes. No, I won't. Seventh sister waved her hand. Fourth sister turned around and left. Seventh sister snorted. Room for negotiation. Do you think you can control everything just because you are older than me? I can't bully you to go to Northern Europe with him for a few days. Oh, I am sorry. Even if Sheng Xiao had received the news, then you won't be able to bully me. Grandpa Sheng would try his best to persuade Sheng Minglan again. Moreover, she wanted Qian in contact to see if the gown fit her. While Grandpa Sheng was in arrived at the villa, nobles in she was surprised. So he thought that as long as Charlie was not married, Chi, this villa is so difficult for negotiation. Now it is your and the crown prince was not anxious. She had completely given up on Grandpa Sheng. The crown prince is so considerate. Sheng Minghui said sarcastically. You like to laugh at me. I did not expect that Grandpa wants to marry fourth sister took out the gown from the wardrobe. How can we be reunited in the future? The hem of the gown was in the shape of a feather, and it will be the body of the gown was decorated with feathers. Sheng Minglan did not bother to talk to her. She left after saying that. Hurry up and put it on. On the other hand, did not look too good. Put on the gown because Sheng Minglan was right. Then she felt that the front was a little empty. If she could not find someone she liked in a limited time, my breasts are not big enough. She would have to live under Grandpa Sheng's control for the rest of her life. Knows what is the most beautiful part of you. Miserable state. It is such a waste not to show your slender neck. Sit back and watch. You are so perfect. After Sheng Xiao knew about it, he told Sheng Minglan not to worry. It is perfect. Even if they went to Northern Europe, looked at herself in the mirror, there would not be too many changes. Like she had been reborn. The royal family of Northern Europe would definitely become another person. Woman. Crown Prince really has a good eye. Sad. I'm afraid I've given you all the best things in the world. At night, she could only drink at home. Took off the gown when Jingyan and put it back into the closet and heard about it. Then he felt looked sad. At Lu Qianqian, but there was nothing he could do. I still want you to attend my engagement ceremony. Sheng Minglan's Didn't we agree in the middle of the night? I'm not going. Young master had said that it would not happen. Nonchalantly. He trusted Sheng Xiao. But it was another matter in a difficult position if she went late at night. Anyway, Sheng Xiao returned home and told things I want to about Grandpa Sheng. You don't have to worry about them. Northern Europe. In the end, Mu Qiqi did not insist when she heard about it. All right then. It's not like the Sheng family has a throne to inherit. Thinking about a lot. Why would Grandpa be so stubborn and interfere with his children's marriage? He only has a grand ambition in his heart, and was willing to continue being friends with her despite his family's objections, and hugged his little wife tightly. She could not be so impulsive. I've discovered something difficult for her friend. That blockhead world had so many opinions about her. Sheng Xiao she would try her best to keep a low profile. This man never asks lunch for anything. But this morning, he asked me to help for the martial arts club. Just based on Lin Muan was already there. Of course not. He was waiting and has been living under the Sheng family's roof all these years. I'm going to Jing so he knows how to control his emotions better than anyone else. Lu Qianqian changed into her sportswear as a block of ice because he has accepted his fate. Aren't you going to her engagement ceremony? Did the Sheng family have? Curiously, none of the Sheng family members ever smiled when they got married. Lu Qianqian clenched her fist and punched the sandbag. Perhaps he owes fourth sister a favor. Why go and embarrass yourself? Sheng Xiao smiled and shook his head again. I have a way. Lin Muan said. You should be the one who understands Jingyan the best. I can help you to dress up. You wouldn't have come to me if you hadn't more embarrassing if you were exposed. Mu Qiqi remembered her crush on Xiao Xiao when she heard that. Don't keep coming up with stupid ideas. Pity him. Lin Muan laughed when he heard that. Right. Lu Qianqian, there's really an impossible person hiding in Jingyan's heart. Why are you blind? Sheng Xiao remembered what Mu Qiqi said back then. But Mu Qiqi could not laugh. Let's meet somewhere else. The situation would be the martial arts club. Let's not talk about whether Miss Minglan likes Jingyan. Your reputation as young master Lin regardless of whether Miss Minglan likes Jingyan, did not think much of it. Family must not know Jingyan's feelings. If worst comes to worst, you don't want to fall into the devil's path with you. What's more important now Lin Muan is to help fourth sister out of her misery. If we want to be friends, no one could be the most loyal and considerate ones. He could only play along for now. Just plastic flowers. Kissing Mu Qiqi's forehead. Lu Qianqian did not say anything. Suddenly said, she just smiled secretly when she turned around. Ticket to Northern Europe when she is getting engaged. Will be one step ahead of Grandpa Sheng and in things. If there are any messy people who cause trouble for Qi, nodded. Help her
So
to
now
make a
hurry
name
up.
for herself.
Hurry up for what?
Lin Muwen patted
Muchichi
his
was
chest
puzzled.
after he heard that.
Hurry up for loving
What's
you
wrong
for
with
once.
that? Leave it to
Muchichi
me.
was speechless.
Then Lin Muwen
That
chased
night,
after Lu
Sheng
Qianqian
Minglan
and
couldn't
asked,
sleep at all.
"Do you know how to swim?"
In the middle of the night,
I need a coach.
She held a bottle
the kind
of
where
wine
I can kiss
and
and
stared
breathe in the
blankly
water
in the garden.
And Lu
Qianqian's
Qianqian's was
answer
the one
was,
who
of course,
couldn't
the
sleep with
beating.
her.
The
Thinking
preparation
about
about
how
how
stressed
stressed
she
was
very fast.
Jingyan could
Mama
only
Sheng
hate
tried her
himself for
best
not
to
being
make it
able to do
unforgettable
anything.
for her son.
He could only
And
watch
the
from
Shen
afar,
family asked
afraid that he would cause
trouble
Sheng Xiao
for
to
her.
go to the Shen
But his
family's
feet wouldn't
ancestral
listen
hall
to
3
him,
days before
even
the
though he
engagement.
knew that one step
Although there was
forward
no
could lead
place
him
for
to hell.
Muchichi in the Sheng
Jingyan
family.
still walked towards
Sheng
her.
Xiao was recognized as their
sister,
grandson-in-law
drinking
in
like
the
this
eyes
is
of the
bad
Shen
for your
family.
health.
Tell the
Minglan looked up
ancestors
and
that
saw
the Shen
Jingyan.
family has a new
She
member.
smiled.
Grandpa
Why
Shen
aren't you
stood
asleep?
behind them and said
It's
to
already
them,
past midnight.
Sheng Xiao,
I still have
I don't
some
know the
unfinished
rules of the
business.
Sheng family.
I came out
but
to
from
clear my
today
head and
onwards,
saw you.
You are also a
Isn't
part
Sheng
of the
Xiao
Shen
squeezing
family.
you too much?
If you dare to
I'll
let
talk to him
Muchichi
another
down
day.
one day,
Are you really
the
that
Shen
unhappy?
family's ancestral
Jingyan
hall
suddenly asked
and the
Sheng
rules in
Minglan.
Grandpa Shen's
Sheng
hands will
Minglan
be
took a
ready
deep
for
breath
you, and smiled
I will
mockingly.
remember.
Sometimes I really envy Sheng Xiao. He knew his limits from the start.
Sheng Xiao only answered
Otherwise,
Grandpa
he wouldn't
Shen
have
with
to be
these 4
manipulated
words.
by others.
Since you have told the
Happiness,
ancestors, you
in
can
this
go
family,
now.
no
See
one
you at
cares
the
about
engagement
happiness
ceremony.
the most.
Grandpa
Jingyan,
Shen said
I'm
to
not
them,
just envious of Sheng
Grandpa,
Xiao.
go.
I'm envious
Grandpa
of you.
Shen drove Muchichi
You're not a
away.
Sheng.
So you
Muchichi
don't have
wanted
to be
say
restrained by
something,
Grandpa.
but Grandpa Shen
You're
had
drunk.
already turned his
Jingyan
back to
took
them.
the wine glass
Sheng
away
Xiao
from her
patted
hand.
Muchichi's head.
Are you going
and
to
let her
deprive
out of
me
the
of
Shen
my
family?
last bit of freedom?
We are staying in
Jingyan looked
Jingting,
at her,
not
suddenly
in the Sheng
having
family.
a bold idea.
You can come back
Although
to the
Sheng
Shen
Xiao
family
was already
anytime.
on the plane to Northern
Muchichi
Europe.
turned around
He still
and
wanted
looked at
to do
Grandpa
it.
Shen.
What would
Then,
you choose
she
if I
got
could
rid
help
of
you
Sheng
leave the
Xiao's
Sheng
hand and
family?
knelt at the door.
I can't escape.
She kowtowed to
I can
Grandpa
escape.
Shen.
She
She
would
would
not
not
let
let down the
confidently.
glory of the Shen
I
family.
know the scope of
Sheng
Huang Yao's
Xiao looked at
business and the
Muchichi
blind spots.
when she kowtowed
Why
to
do you
him.
want
He
to
said,
help me?
You'll be
It's
dead
not
if
too late
Grandpa
to
finds
regret
out.
it now.
You are already claiming that you are the
Jingyan said
grandson-in-law of
nothing.
the Shen family.
He did not answer.
Do you still want to
But his
deny
eyes
it?
revealed everything.
Muchichi stood up
Because
and
I
glared
don't
at
want to
Sheng
see you
Xiao.
suffer.
Xiao, you are so worried
I don't
now.
need to escape.
It means that the
I just need to
engagement
get
ceremony
engaged
will
and
be
married.
exciting, and Grandpa won't be able to control me anymore. You have a point. Jingyan forced
Chapter
a smile to hide his
253.
heartache.
On the night
Idiot.
before the engagement,
Sheng Minglan did
Mama
not
Sheng
say
arranged
anything
for them
else,
to have dinner
but
alone.
she seemed to have a plan
She
in
also
her
wanted
mind.
Papa Sheng
Instead
to meet
of
his
sitting and
daughter-in-law
waiting
before
for
the
the
engagement.
It was better
so
to
that
take
he would
the
not
initiative.
make a fool of himself
Moreover,
during the engagement
there were suitable
ceremony.
candidates
In
in her
fact,
contacts
her
who could
husband's
help.
indifference
Still,
towards
it would
this
take
matter
some time to
had
plan.
left a scar in
When
Mama
the trip to
Sheng's
Northern
heart.
Europe was over,
So,
she did
she
not
would
expect her
completely leave
husband
the
to
Sheng
acknowledge
family.
Muchichi's
Well,
identity.
I'm going
because
to
it was
rest.
not important.
Jingyan knew that
She
there
was
was
never a
nothing he
woman
could
who
do
depended on a
and
man.
did not want to add
It was
to
fine
Sheng
if her
Minglan's
husband did
worries.
not like Muchichi.
Sheng Minglan nodded.
She would love
Go.
Xiao-Qi just
Don't
like her
work so
son.
late next time.
No one could force
Okay.
others to stand on
Jingyan
the
nodded
same side as
obediently.
them, even if that man was their own husband. It was 7 o'clock at night. Sheng
Chapter
Xiao brought
264.
Muchichi along.
Jingyan
They
had
dressed
hidden
up
his feelings
and went
too
to
well
meet his
that
parents
Sheng
in the
Minglan
hotel.
could not tell.
Of course, but Sheng
Sheng
Xiao
Xiao
had
through
already
it.
given
Sheng
Muchichi a
Xiao went
heads
to
up
Northern
beforehand
Europe
and met
as
Charlie.
a father.
He
just
told
had
him
to
about
put
his
on a
family
perfunctory
situation
front on the surface.
and Charlie had
There was
already
no
made
need
up
to
his
deliberately
mind to
curry
accept
favor
the
with
royal
him,
family's arrangement
because he knew very well
and marry
what
the
kind of
daughter of a
person his
Northern
father
European
was.
magnate.
Soon,
Thanks,
the four
Charlie.
of them sat in
I
the
just
dining
hope
room.
that there will be one
Papa
less
Sheng
person
studied
in this
Muchichi
world
from the
who
moment
is
he sat
manipulated
down.
by their elders.
Although he was looking at
As
her
for
cursorily,
Muchichi, he did
she
not
invited
make things
fourth
difficult
sister
for
to
her.
Jingting for dinner
After all,
class.
he still had to
The
give
new
face
maid
to the
Aunt Wu
Shen
was
family.
working.
She was a
Muchichi
good
did not
cook
have
and was
stage
very
fright.
kind. Her posture
I
was
really
very
envy
calm.
you.
Every
Sheng
movement
Minglan
of
looked
hers
at
was
Jing
very
Ting
calm.
and said to Muchichi,
She showed great manners.
Xiao-Qi,
Mama
I
Sheng
always
nodded
hope
in
that I can meet a
satisfaction
man
when
like
she
Xing
saw
Xiao,
that, who can
although
free me
Xiao-Qi
from my
had a rough
shackles.
life.
She
Fourth
did not
sister,
slack off
don't
in
think
terms of
too much
etiquette.
since you are out.
She behaved like
Just
a
be
lady of
happy
a
in
rich
Jing
family.
Ting.
Don't
This was
worry.
the first time
Let me
Papa
tell you
Sheng
a
saw her.
secret. So he could not
went
find
to
any
Northern
fault
Europe
with her.
last night.
So
I
Papa
didn't Sheng
dote
could
on
only
him for
pick on
nothing.
Sheng Zhao's faults.
Sheng Minglan
Although
smiled.
you are engaged,
Then how are you going to solve
focus
this?
on your career?
You can't just drag
After
it on
dinner,
like this.
You should go home.
Grandpa might fancy
I have
a
something
Northern
important
European
to tell
prince
you.
today.
I
But
am
he might
engaged
fancy
tomorrow.
someone else in
Sheng
the future.
Zhao did not think
Do you
much
think
of it.
that I have been doing
It won't
nothing all
affect
these
your good
years?
fortune.
Sheng
Papa
Minglan
Sheng
sneered.
snorted.
But
If
Grandpa
Grandpa
keeps
keeps
forcing
fault
me,
with Muchichi
I will
from
start
the
my own
beginning to
family.
the end.
But
Moreover,
are you
he
trying
was
to
very
say that I
conflicted.
can't win against
He did
Huang
not like
Yao?
Muchichi.
How would I know
But
if
he
I
was
haven't
afraid
tried?
of her identity as a
Sheng
shun.
Minglan asked in
So
return.
he could only ignore her.
If Sheng Xiao
When
could
it was
fight
almost
with Grandpa
time for dinner,
to the
he
death,
told Muchichi,
I can do the same.
You are only
I'm just
18.
a body. You
If
are
I
very
can't
young.
live the life I
But
want, I'd
don't
rather
exhaust
die.
Sheng Xiao too
Sheng
much.
Minglan said.
Do you understand?
Muchichi could
You
feel
must
it
be a
very
good
well.
wife for him.
Xiao Xiao and I will support
is the right
you.
age to have
Sheng
fun.
Xiao values you
but
as much as
he
his
will
own
still
life.
focus on
I
expanding
don't dare
his
to
career.
let you offend Grandpa.
Can you promise me that?
You should let me do
Mu
something
Chichi
too.
did a double take.
Otherwise,
and was
I will
about
really
to answer
become
when
an
Sheng
18-year-old
Xiao put an
bride.
arm over her shoulder
Mu
and
Chichi
told
raised her
Papa
glass
Sheng.
and clinked glasses
She won't
with
agree to
Sheng
anything
Minglan
because I'm the
I
one
almost
bothering
forgot
her.
that you also fought
Papa
against
Sheng
fate.
was angry.
Sheng
But he
Minglan
didn't
drank
flare
as
up.
she chatted with Mu
Instead,
Chichi.
he sighed
The
helplessly
two of
and
them
left
were like
first.
sisters.
Your
And
father
there was
wants
no
you to come
distinction
home.
between them.
Let me send
Chi
Chi
Yan
home
stood
first.
by the door.
Mama
and
Sheng
listened
said
to
to
the
Sheng
conversation.
Xiao.
For
Xiao
some
shook
reason,
his head and
he felt a little
refused.
more relaxed. At least,
I'll
Miss
take her
Minglan
home
was
with
not
me
waiting to
and let
die.
her stay in my
Since
room.
Sheng Minglan
We'll
could
go
not
home
drive
together
after
when
drinking.
this is over.
Mu Chichi
When
asked
Mama
Jing
Sheng
Yan
heard
to send
this,
her
she
home.
could only nod.
On the way home,
Even Mom is
Jing
worried.
Yan suddenly said
It's
to
not
the
that I'm
woman
worried.
behind him,
I just
I
can't
can
bear to
help
part
you,
with
Miss
you for
Minglan.
even a second.
I have first-hand
Sheng Xiao held
information
Mu
about
Chichi's
Huang
hand
Yao.
and smiled at
As
Mama
long
Sheng.
as you want to fight,
Mama Sheng couldn't
I'll
do
bear with
anything to her
Grandpa
son.
for the last time.
So she cleared the
Sheng
way for
Minglan
him.
mumbled and fell
Logically
asleep in Jing
speaking,
Yan's car.
Chi-Chi is perfectly
Meanwhile,
justified in
Grandpa
going to the
Sheng
Sheng
soon
family.
received news from
She
Northern
shouldn't have
Europe
any scruples.
that Prince Charlie
Still,
had announced that
I
he
know
was
that the
getting
brat
married.
doesn't want to make
The
you
old man
uncomfortable.
didn't even have time
So
to
I
set
won't
off,
tell the rest
therefore.
of the Sheng family.
This matter could only be left
pretty aunt.
unsettled. Grandpa
Mu
Sheng
Chichi
even
could feel
consoled her
that Mama
afterward.
Sheng treated her sincerely.
From the
I'll
preparations
arrange a
for
better
the
marriage
engagement
for you in the
ceremony
future.
to the reception of
There was a
people.
hidden meaning
That was
in
why
Sheng
she could
Minglan's
treat
eyes.
Mama Sheng as her
If there
own
was
mother.
a next time,
Soon,
she would definitely
the two cars
leave Huang
drove
Yao.
into the Sheng's
On the
residence
morning of
one
the
after
third
the
day,
other.
Sheng
Mu
Xiao
Chichi
returned
was left
from
in
Northern
awe
Europe
when she saw the
and
entire villa
successfully
complex.
solved Sheng Minglan's
After
urgent
all,
problem.
she had seen
It was
a lot of
worthwhile
things,
trip,
but she
when
was
he
still
returned,
shocked by the
the
Sheng
little one
family's
was still
grandeur.
sleeping soundly.
We went to 8th
Seeing
brother's
that,
room from
Sheng
another
Xiao
route.
took off his
You
clothes
can rest
and lay
in his
down
room
beside
first.
Mu Chichi.
Mama Sheng
The little
opened
one
the door
might have
to
felt
Sheng
the
Xiao's
familiar
room
warmth
and settled
and
Mu
threw
Chichi
herself on
inside.
him.
If
Sheng
you want to
Xiao
come
hugged
out
the
and
little
get to know
one
everyone,
and breathed
I can
in the
bring
fragrance
you.
of her hair,
Mom,
relieving
it's okay.
the fatigue all
Mom,
over his body.
Mu Chichi
After
answered
a
a little
while,
awkwardly.
Mu Chichi
You'll
woke
be
up
mom
from
after
Sheng Xiao's
tomorrow.
arms.
You don't
She
have
saw
to be
the man
nervous.
beside her.
Mama Sheng
couldn't
said
help
gently
kissing his
and
forehead.
closed the door for
You
Mu
are
Chichi.
seducing me.
This was
Sheng
the place
Xiao
where
opened
Xiao
his
Xiao
eyes
grew
suddenly
up
and
It
startled
was
Mu
designed in a
Chichi.
very masculine
How can
style.
kissing my forehead
It was
count?
tough and sexy.
Mu Chichi
The
quickly
whole
got
room
up.
was mainly
His
gray,
fourth sister's
but it was
problem
not
settled.
monotonous at all.
Sheng Xiao turned
Mu
Mu
Chichi
Chichi
walked
over
around Sheng
and
Xiao's
pressed her
room.
under his body.
Then,
she sat
you
on
are
his
the
big
one in
bed
danger
and
now.
waited. She could
Aunt
see
Wu
that
will wake
Xiao
me up
Xiao did
later.
not like to
Mu
read.
Chichi looked
There was
at the
not even a
bedroom door
magazine in
nervously.
his room.
Sure
At
enough,
that moment,
Aunt Wu came
Sheng
to Mu
Minghui heard
Chichi's
that Sheng
door a
Xiao
few
was
minutes
back.
later.
So
She
she
didn't
told
know
her
that
best friend
Sheng Xiao had
Hui
returned
Lan
in the
the
middle
good
of the
news.
night.
Hui
Young
Lan, this
madam,
is your
it's
last
time
chance.
to go to school.
8th brother
Mu
is
Chichi
getting
was
engaged
about to
tomorrow.
say something when
He's
Sheng
living
Xiao
outside
kissed her.
now. It's
Young
not
madam,
easy for him to come
Aunt
back.
Wu, you can leave
You must
first.
seize the chance.
After a
Are
while,
you sure he's back?
Sheng Xiao's voice
The
came
light
from
in
the
his
gap
room
of
is
the
on.
door.
Sheng
Aunt
Minghui
Wu
was
understood
very excited
and left the room
You're
quietly.
so beautiful.
The young
You have
couple
such
was
a good
really
family
attached to each
background,
other,
and you like him
especially
so
in the
much.
morning.
I
when
can't
they were
think of
full
a
of
reason
energy.
for him to reject
Save
you.
me some
At
face in
least
front
you're
of
better
Aunt
than
Wu.
that stunted
Mu
girl,
Chichi
right?
was helpless
The other
and bit the
party
man's
weighed the
nose
pros and
anxiously.
cons.
Sheng
She
Xiao
felt that
grabbed
this
her
might be
hands
her
and
chance.
kissed them.
She wanted
We
to
haven't
see if
seen
she
each
could make
other for
Sheng
3
Xiao
days.
not get engaged
Don't
to
you
Mu
miss me?
Chichi.
To be
Then
precise,
I'll come
it
over
was
now.
1 day and 2
We're
nights.
so close.
This man
I'll
liked
wait
to
for you.
exaggerate. Sheng Minghui
Xiao
felt
Xiao,
that she could still
call me
fight
hubby.
for her friend.
Because she was
There was no
confident
room for
that her
Mu
friend
Chichi
was
to
better
speak.
than Mu Chichi
There was no
in
room
every
at all.
aspect.
When they
But
cleaned
she
up
never
and
thought
went
that as the
downstairs,
crown prince of
the
Huang
breakfast
Yao,
prepared by
Sheng
Aunt Wu
Xiao
was
could get
already
any woman
cold.
he wanted.
Your morning
Since
class
it was
is
Mu
in the
Chichi,
third period.
she must
Do
have
you
her
think I
strong
don't know?
points. Sheng Xiao saw Mu Chichi's
A
dissatisfied
person's
face
feelings were
and
not about
immediately pinched
comparing
her nose.
conditions all the time.
I'm asking about your
but of
fourth
course
sister.
she was still single.
If I can't do it
So,
well,
she did
then
not
don't
understand
count on
this.
others.
At
Sheng
that
Xiao
moment,
gave her the
Sheng
answer.
Xiao was still
The
in
old
Papa
man was
Sheng's
happy
study,
for nothing.
and Mu Chichi Grandpa
was
called
waiting in
last night
Xiangxiao's room
and asked us to
Mama
go back
Xing
for
knew
dinner
that
tonight.
fourth sister liked
On the
her
day of the
sister-in-law.
engagement,
So
she told her
that
wanted to talk to me alone.
in Xiangxiao's room.
I can't run away
Fourth
today.
sister had just returned
Am I afraid
home.
of him?
She wanted to
Xiao
tidy
said
herself up
indifferently.
before going to
I taught
Xiangxiao's
you.
room.
He should
But
be
then,
used to my
Sheng
attitude
Minghui
towards
and
him.
her friend
So
had
there's
already
nothing to be
arrived
afraid
at the door
of.
of Xiangxiao's
I'm not
room.
afraid of him.
Eighth brother,
I
are
have
you
you.
there?
At the very
Sheng
least,
Minghui
I have
knocked on
Dad
the
and
door
Grandpa
to listen to what was
Then
going
what are
on
you worried
inside.
about? Because
I want to help
Mu
Fourth
Chi had
sister.
just washed her hands.
Maybe in your eyes
she could
I'm
hear the
courting
sound
death.
of water.
Mu Chi
So,
answered.
Sheng
Sheng
Minghui
Minghui was sure
seriously.
that someone was inside. I know you're there. Actually,
Open the door
I want
for
to
me.
help Jingyun too.
Mu Chi
They
did
don't
not
need your
answer.
help. She
Sheng
thought that
Xiao
since
told
she
her
could not
directly.
hide anymore,
Fourth
she
sister
might
is
as
not
well
as
meet the
obedient
Sheng
as you
family.
think.
But
Sheng
Jingyun
Minghui said to
is not as
Huilan,
obedient as you
You
think.
can talk at the door.
What you need to do
He
is
will
to study
definitely
hard
hear
and
you.
be a good forensic
Then turn
doctor.
around.
If you
Sheng
keep
Minghui's
pestering me
friend
like
said
this,
to her, blushing,
I'll burn incense and pray to Buddha if I don't fail my subjects at the end of the semester. If you keep looking at me like this,
254.
I'll make sure
Sheng
you
Xiao,
can't go to
I'm
the third
Huilan.
period in the
I know
morning.
you are getting engaged
Sheng Xiao
tomorrow,
suddenly smiled
but
and threatened Mu
hearing
Chi.
this, Mu Qiqi retracted her hand from the doorknob and tried to stuff some breakfast into her mouth because she knew what kind of situation she was in. I'm not satisfied. I want to ask you personally. Can you not get engaged tomorrow? Hey, tell me what's on your mind. Chapter 265 was a little anxious. The people in school liked to call Mu Qiqi the little bride of the Shang family. From getting engaged, she was the object of envy for being able to win Xing Zhao's favor at the age of 18 for a long time. Our family background is similar. There were posts and forums dedicated to her. I'm good friends with Xing Zhao's current situation. I don't want to miss you. As if the others could join the rich and fly up the branches to your room like at phoenixes. I want to ask you, at her. If I tell you that I like outsiders, Mu Qiqi was a very mysterious person. To that little girl. She did not interact with anyone in the room, and would do whatever she wanted at all times. Mu Qiqi had taken out her phone. She was not interested in the things the girls discussed either. Can you open the door home after school? Sheng Xiao would go to the dissection room of you to do or the lab after class. At that moment, even as Sheng Zhao's fiancé came to Sheng Zhao's room, she was not materialistic. She frowned when she saw Seventh Sister and her friend there. That was what the girls admired about her. What are you doing here? At that moment, the bell rang. When Mu Qiqi put away her documents, Fourth Sister was a sharp-eyed person against the car. She knew what Seventh Sister was trying to do. The classroom was in an uproar. Do you know who is in the room? But everyone knew who the man was here to pick up. It's not Xing Xiao. Mu Qiqi walked out, replied, and Xing Xiao took her bag from her and threw it in the back seat. They are getting engaged tomorrow. They got into the car at the same time. Are you trying to snatch the bride? And soon disappeared from the student's sight. She looked at her best friend. Those two won't last long. Both of their faces were red because they did not expect have a daughter-in-law who studies forensic science. I just want Sheng Xiao to have more choices. Someone was discussing the famous that little girl from the Shin family is not good enough for Sheng Xiao. That's because you don't understand rich families. Fourth Sister did not want Mu Qiqi to be sad. Is really professional. So she called Sheng Xiao. She is a girl. Where are you? She is not soft at all when it comes to physics and chemistry. Come back for a while. Her professional skills are excellent. Since you said you want Sheng Xiao to have more choices, used to such discussions. I'll help you inform him. And was also after used hanging to Sheng Xiao appearing beneath a certain academic building and went back to his wherever he wanted. But he saw three people at the door. Could not help smiling at the thought. Sheng Xiao, what are you smiling about? You should deal with this yourself. Sheng Xiao asked. Fourth Sister looked at Sheng with his right hand on the steering wheel seriously, and his left hand on the window. And Seventh Sister is going to start singing. To be so flamboyant in school. Better if Sheng Xiao had not opened his mouth everywhere. But when he did, why don't people know about outstanding people? Then let's go to the Sheng family's hall to sing. He was flamboyant because he was capable and never hit himself. Wei Lan is your guest tomorrow. That capable people should enjoy the flowers. A guest should be where a guest should be. I don't think she should appear in front of my room. What was there to be afraid of? Sheng Xiao made a welcoming gesture. Their car drove into Sheng Mansion. Minghui was left speechless. Sheng Minglan and Mama Sheng could only lead her friend ahead. When Mu Qiqi saw them, Sheng Xiao gestured to Fourth Sister to comfort the little one in the room. You don't have to take care of me like this. And made an okay gesture. It's only your second time here. Who else should I take care of? When they arrived at the living room, everyone from the Sheng family was invited. When they arrived at the dining room, Mama Sheng, the elders of the Sheng family, third uncle and fourth one after another. Of course, Seventh Sister was thought that she might not be able to distinguish the uncles. What are you doing at this time of the night? Mu Qiqi I don't want to. But third uncle, I really want to know how fourth uncle teaches his daughter. Did not hesitate at all. Sheng Xiao sat on the sofa. She called out the order not afraid of anyone without any prompting. Grandpa Sheng was prepared that Sheng Xiao would make a scene. This girl's memory was really good. This grandson at the same time. It's your second time here. Sheng Xiao, be casual. Fourth uncle stared at him and sighed. But I want to know what Seventh Sister is thinking. Was full of hatred. Why did she bring your best friend to my room the night before my engagement? I heard that people who study forensic science have a rotten smell on them. And their hands touch a lot of unsightly things. You are the eldest daughter of the Sheng family. I'm a little disgusted with you sitting in front of me like that. Is it appropriate for you to do this? I can't help it. Sheng Xiao, I have a good imagination. Moreover, everyone could hear the unfriendliness. I just want to give you another choice. But it must be said that the Sheng family took this Mama issue very seriously when she heard what Sheng Xiao said. The thought of corpses and internal organs really made their stomachs uncomfortable. You even know to prepare another wife for my son. Mama Sheng could not help but want to say something. Aunt, that's not what I mean. She spoke before she could. Since that's not what you mean, you don't have to take those courses in the first year. You should know shame as a young lady of the Sheng family. You are thinking too early. You brought an unmarried child to the Sheng family. She was neither humble nor arrogant. She is in front of Sheng Xiao's fear in her eyes. Do you know how much it will affect him? It's not early, little girl. Who do you want to ruin? You can't make everyone lose their appetite every time you come. Can you? And who in the Sheng family would do that kind of work? She did not know what to do. Because Mama Sheng had never been so angry at the Sheng family. Mu Qiqi threw the question back to Sheng Xiao. It's simple. It has nothing to do with you whether she is good enough for him or not. Don't come to the Sheng family. Grandpa Sheng was furious when he saw his family quarreling. I don't want to change. Although Seventh Sister has crossed the line, she means stubbornly. Moreover, if you don't want to see me, you can just avoid me. Grandpa,
You actually want
I just
me,
want to.
the young lady of the
Don't think
Sheng
about
family,
anything.
to avoid you.
Chi-Chi is in
What
Sheng
else can I
Xiao's
do?
room.
After
She saw
all,
what you did just now.
you are the one who feels
Mama Sheng was
uncomfortable
trembling
when you
with
see
anger.
Me.
You have
She
to
told
think about
Sheng
your own
Minghui
health.
directly.
The elders
Let
of
the
the
Sheng
Sheng
family
did
did
not
not
stop
stop
them when they
looks
saw them
like.
bickering.
Let them see
Grandpa
how different
Sheng
she
even
is from the
smiled.
pimps outside.
The dining table was very
you've
quiet
crossed the
when
line.
Chi-Chi was not around.
Grandpa Sheng scolded
Now it's
Mama
finally
Sheng.
lively.
You want
But
your friend
Chi-Chi,
to get engaged
can you really
to me,
not change
don't
your
you?
studies?
Sheng
The
Xiao,
Sheng
who
family
had been
is a
silent
prestigious
for a while,
family after
suddenly
all.
spoke.
Eighth
No
brother
one
can
knew what he
arrange
meant.
whatever you want to
But they
do.
could feel that
Even
his
if you
evil
don't want
nature
to learn
was
anything
acting
up again
and just want to play
Fine.
at home.
Get engaged
It's
to
still
me.
better than eighth
Then,
brother being
I will tie
talked
her
about
up and
behind
throw
his
her
back.
into the Atlantic
Sheng
Ocean.
Minghui looked at
You know that I
Chi-Chi.
like to watch
She
sharks
wanted
hunting
to know
for
how she
food.
would answer
Or,
Grandpa Sheng.
I should say that
Will
there
you be
is a new
criticized?
amusement park in
Chi-Chi
America.
turned to
The
ask
roller
Sheng Xiao,
coasters
who was
there do
beside
not
her.
require
Sheng
seatbelts.
Xiao looked playful.
I have been wanting to
Who
let
would
someone
dare to?
try it for a
Then
long
there's
time.
no problem.
Since Miss
Hu
Huilan
Chi-Chi
likes
did
me
not
so
care
much,
about Grandpa
why don't you
Sheng's
help me
pressure
try
at
it?
all. She was as soft as a ball of cotton. She was not angry.
Or perhaps Miss
she was
Huilan
just
likes
talking
the
about the
sun.
matter.
I like to
As
see
an
people
elder,
being hung
how
on a
could he
mountain.
not let the little girl
Enough.
go?
Sheng Xiao,
Now that you mention
is this how
it,
you treat a toy?
I am being a busybody.
Sheng Minghui was
Chi-Chi,
angry. Although you are
she
a
likes
shun,
you.
You
It's
are
not
also a
wrong.
new member of the
Since
Sheng
she is
family.
willing to be with me,
Remember to respect
what's wrong
your
with
elders.
suffering a little?
Okay, Grandpa.
I like to treat women like this.
What's wrong with me?
Although you are engaged to Sheng
Didn't you
Xiao
want to
and
ask
everything
me
is
if I have
official,
another choice?
don't be too
Why?
proud.
Are you not
After
satisfied
all,
with my
you
answer?
still have a few
Sheng
years to
Xiao looked
register
at
your
Sheng Minghui
marriage.
coldly.
The
I
old
have been
man's
like
words
this since
carried
I
a
was
hint
young.
of threat.
Is this the
Be
first
more
time you
polite
see
to
it?
your seventh sister
Sheng
next
Minghui's
time.
mouth was trembling.
Understand, she could
As
not
for
say
your
a word.
course,
As
I
for
will
her
arrange
friend,
for you to
she was
transfer
so
to another
scared that her
faculty.
face turned green.
You can also tell Grandpa
Babe,
which
I think I'll
university
go
you
home
like.
first.
It
Huilan
seemed that
couldn't
this
stand
dictator
Sheng
was going to
Xiao's
put his
piercing
hands
gaze
on her
anymore.
head.
It
Sheng
made her
Minghui
shudder.
looked at Chi-Chi provocatively.
She knew that Grandpa Sheng would always side with his granddaughter. Chapter
How could he help an
255.
outsider?
Sheng
With
Minghui
Chi-Chi's
questioned Sheng Xiao
capability,
when she saw him
how could
losing
she
his
overcome
composure.
the Buddha's five
Even if
fingers
you don't
mountain?
like her, you don't
Chi-Chi
have to
said
scare her
nothing.
like that.
But Sheng Xiao
I'm
put
serious
food in
about every
Chi-Chi's
word I
bowl.
said.
He said
Sheng
to
Xiao
everyone,
looked straight into
how
Sheng
can I let
Minghui's
others
eyes.
interfere with Chier's
Let's
matter?
talk about seventh
Save
sister
it.
now. Sheng
Fourth
Xiao,
uncle,
how can you
shouldn't
say
you
that?
give me an
If
explanation?
seventh sister
Why
insists
did your
on
daughter
interfering
bring
with
another
our
woman
lives,
to my room
I
the
will
night
find a
before
good
my
black
engagement
man and send
Sheng
him to your
Xiao,
bed on a good
your
day.
seventh sister just
Sheng
wanted to do
Minghui's face
something for you.
changed. You don't have
you
to be
think
so
you are
aggressive.
shameless? What
Fourth
can you
uncle
do to
told
me?
Sheng Xiao
Sheng
calmly.
Xiao retorted,
It's your daughter's
Grandpa,
fault now. If you're
don't
asking
turn your
us to go
attention
home
to
just
me.
to talk
If
nonsense,
I let this matter
then
go,
don't count us
I'll
in.
be even more
After all,
lawless in the
there's food
future.
everywhere, isn't
I
there?
don't know if I'll give seventh sister a black man or something when I'm in a good mood. Then, I'll let seventh
Chapter
sister show off her
266.
international pedigree.
Sheng Xiao,
You
Sheng
are only
Xiao's eyes
engaged.
were filled with a
You are not
rebellious
married.
light.
He was
Grandpa
fearless.
Sheng was a little
Fourth
angry.
uncle was shocked
I thought
when
you
he
would
heard
have to
that.
endure it for
But
a
he
few
couldn't
more
find
years.
any words to
So
refute
you want to make
Sheng
things
Xiao,
ugly now?
because Sheng Xiao
Sheng
was
Xiao
telling
leaned
the
against
truth.
the chair.
If Grandpa
and glared
Sheng
at
didn't
Grandpa
punish
Sheng.
Sheng Minghui today,
You are engaged to an
it would be a
18-year-old
precedent
girl.
for Sheng Xiao.
Don't you have to
He
follow
would be
the
even
rules?
more unscrupulous.
She is my woman. Grandpa,
I know how
look
to
at what
discipline
Sheng
her
Xiao
even
said.
if she does
Sheng
something
Minghui
wrong.
was shocked too.
Why do you need to worry
because
about
it was
that?
definitely something
Can't I
Sheng
say
Xiao would
something?
do.
No.
Grandpa Sheng took
Sheng
a deep
Xiao
breath.
replied firmly.
Then he looked
And
at
you,
Sheng
seventh
Minghui.
sister,
If you
apologize
cause
to
trouble
your
again,
brother.
don't
Moreover,
blame me for not
you don't
warning
have to attend
beforehand.
the engagement
Just as
ceremony
Sheng Xiao
tomorrow.
finished speaking,
I'm
he
not
heard
the
a
one
loud
she
slap.
should apologize
The
to.
old man slammed his hand
please
on the
bring
table
Chi-Chi here
and pointed at Sheng
Sheng
Xiao.
Xiao turned to Mama
I'd
Sheng.
like to see if you
Mama
can live
Sheng
a long
nodded
life
and
with
got
such
up
a
from the
young and
sofa.
delicate wife.
Sheng Minghui was
Sheng Xiao
reluctant,
hugged Chi-Chi's
but when
shoulder
she thought about the
and
black
looked at
man
Grandpa
Sheng Xiao
Sheng
mentioned just
fearlessly.
now,
Her
you guys
palms
can
were
eat.
sweating.
Grandpa
Sheng
Sheng stood
Xiao,
up and left
is it
the
worth
table.
it for you to
He
fall
brought
out with your
seventh
family
sister and
just
fourth
for a little
uncle with
girl?
him.
Old
Sheng
man,
Xiao,
it's
don't
not
use
because
force
of
against
Qi
Grandpa
that I'm
every
doing
time.
this.
It is
It's
not
just
good
that
for
I really
Chi-Chi.
don't like the way
Fourth
seventh
sister
sister
felt
does things.
goosebumps all
No
over
matter
her
who
body
gets
when she
engaged
thought of
to
the
me
tense
today,
atmosphere just
based
now.
on seventh sister's
sister's
not
way
afraid.
of doing things.
Mu Chichi immediately
hacked
stood
into
up
pieces?
and expressed her attitude.
Grandpa Sheng was
Sheng Xiao
speechless.
caressed Mu Chichi's
Then he
hair
got
and
angry.
smiled. I'm not
Whether it
feeling
is
well.
soft or hard,
You guys can
I
do
will not
whatever
let
you
Chi-Er
want.
be wronged,
Of course,
especially in front
Sheng
of me.
Xiao knew that no
What if
matter what
Grandpa
he decides
decides
to use force
Grandpa
one day,
Sheng would blame
I
it
can
on
afford
Mu
it.
Chi-Chi.
But he didn't care.
Sheng Xiao
just
said
couldn't
firmly
let
to
the little
fourth
thing
sister,
suffer.
You can
Whether
continue
it was
to do
now
that.
or in the future.
Papa Sheng could
As
not
long as
stand
someone
Sheng
bullied
Zhao's protective
Chi-Er,
attitude.
he would deal with them
So
first.
he stood up and left the
Soon,
table. Mama
Sheng
Sheng
Xiao
ignored him and
sister
said to
brought
Mu
Chi-Chi
Chi-Chi to the living
Hurry
room.
up and eat.
Seeing
Let's
so
go
many
home
elders,
early. Mu
I
Chi-chi
am trying my
greeted them
best. After Mama
Mu
Sheng
Chi-chi
introduced
tilted her
them
head.
to her.
There were a
Of
few
course,
weirdos in the
it
Sheng
was awkward
family.
to meet under
One
such
was Grandpa
circumstances.
Sheng, who was
Mu
a
Chi-chi
dictator
could feel her
and wanted
father's
to control the
disdain
fate of
and
everyone in the
indifference
Sheng
towards her.
family.
The
Isn't
other
there
was
someone
Sheng
who
Xiao.
wants to
He
apologize?
was unmoved by
Sheng
force or
Xiao pulled Mu
persuasion.
Chi-chi to
He
sit
did
beside
things
him
according to his
and
mood.
reminded Sheng
No one
Minghui.
could suppress him.
Sheng Minghui was
At the
helpless.
same time,
no one could please him. All right,
She
then.
walked up to them
In
and
the
said,
future, unless it's an important
I
occasion,
didn't do it on purpose.
you don't have to come
Don't
over
be
for
angry
a
at
meal.
me.
Otherwise,
I promise
it'll be
that I will
unpleasant.
treat you like a family
Mama
member
Sheng
from now
decided.
on. Chi-Chi,
It's good enough
you don't
that
have to
seventh
take your
sister doesn't
grandfather's
cause
words
trouble.
to heart. Sheng
You just
Xiao
have
looked
to
up at her
remember
and
that
said,
you have eighth
I
brother
hope
to
that fourth
protect
uncle
you.
can teach your
You don't
daughter
have to
well
worry
in the
about
future.
anything else.
An unmarried
I know,
girl
Mom.
shouldn't worry
In
about
fact,
other families.
Chi-Chi's bravery was all
Humph.
an act.
Fourth
She
uncle
knew what
snorted
kind of
coldly
person Sheng
and
Xiao
returned
was,
to his room
and
with
she did
Sheng
not want to
Minghui.
be a burden to
The
him.
other elders
It was
also
not that
left
she was
one
not
after
afraid
another.
of Grandpa
Only
Sheng's
Mama
oppression,
Sheng and fourth
but she
sister
had to be
stayed in front
resilient.
of Sheng Xiao
She could
and
not
Sheng
be
Minghui.
threatened by anyone.
Although we have
Even if
offended
she had
some
some
elders
elders in the
today,
end, it's
she would not be
inevitable for
alone
Sheng
because
Xiao
she
to
had
do
Xiao
this.
Xiao's protection.
Seventh sister has
After a
gone
hasty
too far.
dinner, Sheng
Fourth
Xiao
sister
left
comforted
with
Mu-Chi-Chi.
Xiao-Chi, don't take it to heart. We have been through this for so many
Meanwhile,
years. Grandpa
not
Sheng
because
and
of
Sheng
you.
Minghui were
Don't
on the
take
top
it to
floor
heart.
of the mansion.
Fourth sister,
Watching
I
their
understand.
sports car drive away.
Mu-Chi-Chi comforted
Seventh
fourth
brother,
sister.
help Grandpa
All right.
think of a way to
Seventh
make the
sister has gone
relationship
too far
between the
today.
two of them less
Don't
intimate.
think too much about it.
As long as
Go
eighth
back
brother
and
hates
rest early.
this girl.
Tomorrow
I can
is the
directly kick
engagement
her out.
ceremony.
Grandpa,
you still have a lot of
you
work
should
to
know
do.
that I won't be
But
able to
judging
bear the
from Grandpa's
consequences
attitude,
if
he
I
is
touch
angry
Sheng
tonight.
Xiao's people.
He might not
Sheng
attend
Minghui
the
was
ceremony
afraid of
tomorrow.
Sheng Xiao. Fourth
I'm
sister
here.
guessed.
What are you afraid
It
of?
doesn't matter.
Grandpa
He will
Sheng
come.
turned around and
Sheng
asked
Xiao
her,
was very sure.
do whatever you can to make
he
eighth
hugged
brother
Mu-Chi-Chi
hate this
and
girl
stood
as
up.
soon as possible.
Mom, fourth
Make
sister
them
will
break
go
up.
back first.
I feel sick
Go.
every time I see
Mama
a
Sheng
forensic
nodded.
doctor.
When they had
I'm
gone
already
far
so
away,
old,
she
but
sighed
I'm
and
still
said to fourth
disgusted by
sister,
such things.
I really like
How can I
Chi-Chi.
not follow your
She can
orders,
endure
Grandpa?
anything for Sheng Xiao.
Sheng Minghui smiled.
She is not the kind
In
of
the end,
person who
Mu-Chi-Chi
values
was
at
a
the
rich
age
family.
where she loved to play.
What the Sheng family
She did
thinks
not
is
believe
great
that
might
she
not
could
be
reject
what she
the vanity
wants.
of a man who kept
Eldest
chasing
aunt,
after
I have
her.
never seen
She
Sheng
had to
Xiao
think
so
of a way
angry
to
at
deal
home.
with Mu-Chi-Chi.
Look at him.
From all aspects.
He did not care about
As
seven
long as
sisters'
she could
feelings
find
at all.
evidence that
It's
Mu-Chi-Chi
obvious
was having
that he
an
is
affair
trying
with
to show
someone
off
else.
his power to
Sheng
Chi-Chi.
Xiao would know
So
how to
don't
deal
worry.
with a traitor.
Fourth sister
without
comforted
telling
Mama
anyone.
Sheng.
And school
Moreover,
was the easiest place
Chi-Chi
for
is not the
Mu-Chi-Chi
kind
to
of
break
girl
her
who will
plan.
be controlled
On
by
the other
others.
hand,
She is
Mu-Chi-Chi was
talented and
already
has her own
imagining
ideas.
a drama of a
We
rich
can't tell
family
what
on
will
her way
happen in
home.
the future.
Whether she was
Mama
willing or
Sheng
not,
smiled.
she could
Then,
not run away
she
from
pointed at
Grandpa
fourth
Sheng's
sister's
attitude
lips and
today.
said,
Grandpa
"You are the sweet
hinted
one."
that we still have a
After
few
that,
years
they went
before
back
we
to
can
their
register.
rooms to rest.
Is it clear
However,
that he won't let
on
me
their way
join the
back,
Sheng family?
Fourth sister
Do you
bumped
think that
into
Grandpa
Jing Yan
Sheng
again.
is only
So
cunning
she
in these
stopped him.
aspects?
Jing
Sheng
Yan
Xiao sneered
take
as
good
he
care of your
drove.
young master.
He will definitely
Miss
give me a
Mingwan,
woman.
you have to take
and
care
give
of
you a man
yourself
at the
too.
same time.
You have lost
He
weight
has
again.
always regarded relationships
sister
as
nodded.
child's play.
Come to my
and
room.
he has never
Give
believed
Chi-Chi
that
a
true
present.
love exists in
I
the
forgot
world.
about it tonight.
However, all
Jing Yan
long-term
followed
couples
behind
are because
fourth
of the
sister in a
balance of
daze.
power.
Then he
Give
saw
me
her
another
taking
man.
out a big gift
Mu-Chi-Chi
box
was
and a
shocked.
small one. I can't
The
handle
big one
you
is
alone,
for
okay?
Chi-Chi.
Little
The small
one, do
one
you
is
want
for
to
you.
die? I remember that you
Mu-Chi-Chi
liked
rolled her
robots
eyes in
when
the
you were
face of
young.
Sheng Xiao's
You
threat.
saw a special one
I
in
finally
Vienna.
understand
So
where
you
your
bought
demonic
it.
genes
Jing
come
Yan's
from.
eyes changed
You must
instantly.
have the magical
He
genes
took
to
the
fight
gift and
against
thanked
Grandpa
fourth
since
sister.
you were young.
Thank you, Miss
But
Mingwan.
Mu-Chi-Chi did not
But in
show any
fact,
fear.
only he knew how
This
turbulent
surprised
his
Sheng
heart
Xiao.
was. Aren't you afraid at all? As long as I'm sure that
Fourth
you won't
sister
leave
did
me,
not forget
and I
about
won't
him.
leave you.
Every time
Then
she
I'm
went,
not afraid
she
of
would
anything.
bring him a gift.
I'm only
He
18
kept it
years
in
old.
his heart to warm
I can
himself.
try anything.
On the
Who
way
asked
back
me
to
to trust you
Jingting,
so much?
Mu-Chi-Chi
In the
peeked
night
at Sheng
sky,
Xiao more than
Sheng
once.
Xiao saw
Although
Mu-Chi-Chi's
she knew that
twinkling
his
eyes.
expression was
His
the
heart
same
was
as
stirred,
usual,
because
she
her
could
eyes
feel
were
that
as
he was
dazzling
angry.
as the stars.
I am fine.
Everyone
You are
seemed to be
fine.
looking
But
forward
I am
to a
not.
stable marriage.
Sheng Xiao sped
But
up.
even the most
If
stable
fourth sister
relationship
did not
could
see
fall
it,
apart in
were
the
you
end.
planning to keep
That
it a
was why
secret?
every marriage
I
was
have
a
recorded
gamble.
it. Did
I am going to
Grandpa
open the
Sheng
door
think that
and
external
let them know
forces
that
could
Sheng
destroy
Xiao's
their
woman
combined
is
souls?
inside? Let's try.
Mu-Chi-Chi
Did
explained.
he think that she was
Do
young
you
and
think that I
fickle?
will swallow my anger?
Don't forget that I am also
But the
the one
truth
who
was
tore
that it was
Rome
easier
Junhan
for an
apart.
18-year-old
Do you think that
to
your
sacrifice
seventh
herself my opponent? On the other hand, want to see it. Sheng Minglan was much more spirited now that Grandpa Sheng had temporarily stopped looking at her. Jing Yin relaxed his furrowed brow when he saw that. His gloomy mood was swept away. Do you care? But that did not mean that Sheng drove the car into the parking lot of Jingting. She was carefully considering Jing Yin's suggestion. I don't care. He had to prepare for a rainy day and quickly find a way out for himself. It won't be too embarrassing because Grandpa Sheng felt that he owed attitude towards Muqiqi after what happened last time or something else would treat her. He had put Grandpa Sheng would most likely not attend the wedding tomorrow recently because he was in contact with an English tycoon. He believed that English men would make good husbands definitely punish because they were polite. But he was not worried. More importantly, he had a way to make Grandpa Sheng attend the wedding an Asian woman as his wife. When they reached home, and he was very satisfied after seeing had rearranged everything in the house. She changed into the couple's pajamas and shoes. Everything was for two. Sheng Xiao could not help but press Muchichi against
Mama
the
Sheng
wall.
looked at Sheng
Are you
Minglan's
so
face
impatient that you
and
want to
knew
be
that
with
she
me?
did not want to be
Muchichi
controlled.
smiled, and because she saw Sheng Minglan's hot hands moving over her body, she explained,
Mama Sheng felt that it was a wise choice to let Sheng Xiao
I feel like I am
and
possessed.
Muchichi get engaged.
Sheng Xiao tore Muchichi's
She used to obey
clothes
Grandpa
and exposed
Sheng,
her chest.
but when she saw
the
how much
world
her
is so
son liked
big and
Muchichi,
there are so many women,
her heart wavered.
Why must I have
That was
you?
why she helped her
Muchichi
son.
unbuttoned
If
Sheng
Sheng
Xiao's
Zhao's
marriage
was
and
arranged
kissed
like
his chest
this,
slowly.
she thought that
Because
Sheng
you love
Xiao
me,
would probably die
right
by
by
the
Grandpa
door,
Sheng,
right on the corridor,
to prevent Sheng
Sheng
Minglan
Xiao
from
kissed
crying.
the little one fiercely.
Mama Sheng brought
She
Sheng
would become
Minglan
his
away
fiancé
after the
tomorrow,
meeting, and went
while the
straight
two
to
of them
Sheng
were
Zhao's
passionately
house in
kissing.
Jingting.
They had
Muchichi
unknowingly
knew that
taken off
something
their
had
clothes.
happened when she saw
By
her
the
mother
time they
bringing
regained their
their sister
senses,
to Jingting.
their bodies had already
Even though it was already
involuntarily
late,
moved closer to the
she
bed.
quickly welcomed
Everything
them.
in the house
Chi-Chi,
came in pairs.
fourth sister will stay
it made
here
Sheng
tonight.
Xiao feel a sweetness
Comfort her.
he had never felt
I'll cover
before.
for her when I get home.
So at this moment, he just
Don't
wanted
worry,
to
Mom.
love his Xiao
Muchichi held
He wanted
Sheng
to give her
Minglan's
his
hand
most gentle
and
love.
realized that it was
so
cold.
it was rare for Muchichi
Did Grandpa
to feel
force
Sheng
you
Zhao's
again?
gentleness.
Chi-Chi.
And it was
Sheng
like a
Minglan
feather
suddenly
brushing
hugged
against her
Muchichi.
body. She
I
finally
can't
could
take
not
it
control
anymore.
her emotions.
You can't take it anymore?
I don't understand
Sheng
why
Xiao
Grandpa
lifted her
thinks
chin
that
and
his
smiled.
interference is charity
Then,
to
he
us.
continued what he
No
was
one wants
doing,
his charity,
making the little
He is
woman
too
feel
domineering.
comfortable in both
Do you
body
know that
and
he is
mind.
going to introduce
Of
me to
course,
some Englishmen?
Sheng Minghui was
I can't take
embarrassed
it
and
anymore.
humiliated by Sheng Xiao
Muchichi
that
did not
night.
know how to
She
comfort
threw a
her.
tantrum for
So
hours
she took
after
out
she
some wine
returned
and
to her
got
room,
drunk with her, even
but
though
she had
she was
nowhere
not
to
to vent
vent
the
the
grievance in her
However,
heart.
since
More
Sheng
importantly,
Minglan wanted to get
she
drunk
was not
too,
allowed to attend
the
the
two women
engagement
ended up
ceremony
getting drunk
tomorrow.
in the living room.
Who cared? Leaning
However,
against each other
she
as
couldn't
if
let
drunk as
Muchichi
mud.
have an easy
Sheng
time.
Xiao frowned when he got home.
She called all her
and
good
carried
friends
Muchichi back
and
to
told
the
them
bedroom.
to help her cause
Then,
trouble
he
for
put Sheng
Muchichi
Minglan on the
tomorrow.
sofa and
She
called
didn't believe
Jingyan.
that Muchichi would
Fourth
be
sister
easy
is
to
in
deal with.
Jingting.
To her,
Come and take
Sheng
care of
Xiao
her.
was too much of a
Young
scum.
master,
She
men
had
and
good
women should be
intentions,
different,
and yet she
you
was
should let
treated
Aunt
like
Wu
this.
take care of fourth
In
sister.
front of the whole family,
Jingyan was
the
still
young
trying
lady
to
of the
control
Sheng family
himself.
had to
What
apologize
nonsense
to
are you
that
talking
silly
about?
girl.
I
Not
don't
only
believe
you
that.
don't know that
But
Grandpa
Huilan
Sheng
was also
is
scared
interfering
away.
with her marriage
From
again.
now on,
And this
Huilan
time,
would
it's
probably
even an
never want to
Englishman.
contact her
Aunt
again.
Wu can take care of
right?
her body.
How
But
abominable.
can she take care of her
Whenever
mood?
Sheng Minghui
I'm
thought about
upstairs
it,
and won't
she
go
would feel
downstairs
annoyed.
tonight.
Do as you see fit.
Fourth sister is
Fourth
lying on the
sister was
sofa
also
downstairs.
fawning over that silly
No
girl.
one cares even if
With
she's
something
cold.
that even Grandpa
Jingyan
doesn't
was sure
approve
that
of
Sheng
how
Xiao
good
did it
ending
on
in the
purpose.
Sheng family.
But could he
I'll
leave
wait
Sheng
and see.
Minglan alone?
The next
course
day was
not.
the engagement
If he was at the
ceremony
Sheng
of the
family,
Crown Prince of
he would have
Huang
asked
Yao.
for help.
Because it was
But if
too
he was
grand,
at Jingting,
the media broadcast
could he be a
it
little
live from the
presumptuous?
venue to the guests.
Jingyan did not
because
think much
Sheng
about
Xiao
it
was so
and went to
influential.
Jingting.
Mama Sheng
When he
seemed
reached
to
the
have
living
made up
room,
her mind.
he saw
She
Sheng
wanted
Minglan
everyone to
lying
know
on
that
the
her
sofa
son
in her
already
thin
had a
clothes.
fiancé.
So he
Although
quickly
she
went
could
to the
not
guest
stop her
room,
husband and
took out a
Grandpa
blanket
Sheng from making
covered
other plans in the
Sheng Minglan
end.
with it.
She
Perhaps
had to do it
sensing
within
that
her
something
power.
was wrong with her
She
body.
wanted to do it with
Sheng
a clear
Minglan
conscience
opened
for
her
her
eyes
son
with much
and
difficulty.
Muchichi. In the wee hours of the morning, Sheng Xiao
She
sent
struggled
Muchichi
to sit
back
up when
to the
she
Shen
saw
family.
Jingyan right in
The
front
next
of her.
morning,
His
he
face
went to
full of
welcome
worry.
her. Did I forget
Muchichi woke
myself
up early
again
and started
No.
to dress up.
Jingyan shook
Grandpa
his head.
Shen's eyes
Young
turned
master
red
is
when
taking
he saw
care
how
of
beautiful
Miss
his granddaughter
upstairs.
was.
Fifth aunt
I
has
thought
gone
that
home
it's so
so
early.
Still
You're
half
still
awake.
too young.
Sheng
I
Minglan
can keep
sat
you
up
for a
and
few more
suddenly reached
years
out
to
to
make it
caress
up
his
to you.
cheek.
But
I'd rather marry
Grandpa,
you than marry some
Muchichi
Englishman.
held Grandpa Shen's
Fourth
hand.
miss.
She felt
Jingyan
very
was
sorry
stunned.
for him.
Are you unwilling?
After I got engaged
Do you know
to
what you're
Xiao
saying?
Xiao,
I still
Jingyan's
come
eyes
home
were
to
full of
visit you and
restraint.
second aunt's
Sheng
family.
Minglan smiled
not
and
lost.
suddenly threw herself
be
into
so sad.
Jingyan's arms.
Shen Jianchuan came
Sometimes,
home from the
I just
hospital
want to
in the
marry
wee hours
someone
of the
and be
morning.
done with it.
Seeing how
But I just
beautiful
can't
his daughter
accept it.
was, he couldn't
I don't
help
want
but
to be
say,
manipulated.
My dear daughter.
Jingyan hugged
Daddy.
Sheng Minglan.
But
Muchichi
did not
bent
have
down
any
and
improper
hugged Shen
thoughts.
Jianchuan
He
gently.
carried her into the bedroom
I'm sorry
and stayed
I
by
haven't
her
done
bedside.
my duty as a daughter.
Upstairs, Sheng
I
Xiao
haven't
came
taken
downstairs.
good care of you.
When he
Do you
opened the
think that
door
your
and saw
father
the
is
scene,
old?
he
Shen
really wanted
Jianchuan
to
couldn't
smack
do
Jingyan
anything anything else. Stick. He could only see what kind of paste was in his brain. Wait for me, and he wasted such a good chance. Then, I'll take care of my daughter personally about having sex with her. Don't cry. Instead, Wang Yu stood at the side and that it was a good chance for Jing Yin to tell Xing Ming what was on his mind. If you cry and embarrass yourself at the engagement ceremony, Jing Yin would not say anything if he was sure there were not such strict rules at the engagement ceremony. In the end, but Sheng Xiao was considerate and returned to the bedroom to see the Shen family. He was going to teach the little one a lesson. She did not know how to drink in the wee hours of the morning, drunk, so that she could accompany her grandfather and father. That the man on top of her was angry. She only didn't want her to be too excited. The man's actions were not gentle at all. She did not bring her over. Punishing. Soon the sky was bright. A beautiful white car had arrived at the entrance of the Shen family. The man Xiao was wearing a black handmade suit today. What an irresistible. It was rare for him to be formal. He did not expect her to wake up tonight. And responsibility of a man. He would have to wait until tomorrow morning. Huang Yu
But when
asked
Sheng
Muqiqi
Minglan woke
to
up in
stand
the
up
middle
and
of
turn
the night,
around.
it was the first time Xing Xiao saw Muqiqi wearing that gown. But her rationality had returned. She wanted to give him a surprise. Have been scared to death,
At this moment,
of course,
Xing Xiao
she could not remember
putting on the gown for him. Moreover,
He felt indescribably
since she was
proud
awake,
of himself.
she should go home.
The sense of ceremony
she could not
rose
keep
in his
acting
heart.
like a drunkard here.
Sheng Xiao,
But when she got off the bed quietly,
Grandpa
and was about to
said,
leave, Jing Yun woke up. Miss Minglan, you sleep.
Then,
I'm going back.
Muqiqi's hand in
Sheng
Sheng
Minglan
Xiao's.
turned to Jing Yun.
Don't let anyone bully her.
I'll send you.
Muqiqi
You
is so beautiful.
Jing Yun got
How
up.
would Sheng Xiao
You
dare
can go
to
in
bully
alone
her?
when you reach
Huang
the
Yu
Sheng
smiled.
family.
Everyone
Then I won't
let's go.
say goodbye to Sheng
It's almost
Xiao and
time.
the others.
Sheng Xiao
Sheng
led
Minglan
Muqiqi
said,
and walked in
then
front.
they left Jing
At
Ting
this
quietly.
moment, the
In
newlyweds
fact,
were the
Sheng
most
Xiao knew
beautiful
that.
couple in the
He
world.
sighed.
Mama
It was such
Sheng
a good
and fourth
opportunity
sister
for
also
Jing
came
Yun
to welcome
to let Sheng
Muqiqi.
Minglan go
When
home.
they saw
It
Muqiqi
seemed
in her
that the
gown,
blockhead could
their
not be
eyes
enlightened.
turned red without
Not
knowing
only
it.
did he know,
Xiao
he
Qi
even
is so
went
beautiful.
downstairs to stop
Sheng
them.
Minglan sighed.
Aren't you going to think
She's
of a
young and
solution
beautiful.
here?
From
Are you
the
going
looks
to
of
keep
it,
crying when
Sheng
you go
Xiao
home?
is really cunning. He had his eyes on his young wife at such a young
Sheng
age.
Minglan saw
He
Sheng
made her
Xiao
fair
coming
and plump.
downstairs in his black
Then, like
pajamas,
a fox, and returned.
he took Xiao Qi into his fox
I don't believe
nest.
you don't want to
Mama
get rid
Sheng
of
was
the old
touched.
man's control.
She smiled.
But we are different.
Chi is the most
What's the
beautiful
difference?
bride I've ever
Do
seen.
you think the old man
As
would
for
let
Sheng
Qi
Xiao
or marry into his family? Sheng Xiao lifted his chin. He knew everything very well. Think of a solution
Chapter
if you have
257.
one. No one has
Then,
to lower their head
I will allow you
and
to
admit
look at me
defeat
for a
to
while.
the old man.
What's your
Muqiqi
plan,
smiled
Sheng
brightly.
Xiao?
Tell
Sheng
me
Xiao
first,
subconsciously
do you
held
have someone you
Muqiqi's
like in
hand
your
tightly
heart?
and
Is
led
that
her to the
important?
white car.
Sheng Minglan
Then they
frowned.
set off for the banquet hall.
We are talking about your
Because
marriage
here,
in the first place.
they were about to complete
Do you think
the
it's
first
important?
major event in
Yes
their
or
lives.
no? It's
Their
two different
engagement.
directions to work
Then,
towards.
The Shen
The
family
difficulty is
arrived at
different
the
too.
hotel where the
Sheng Xiao
engagement
replied.
ceremony was going
Jing
to be
Yun
held.
looked at Sheng Minglan.
It was on the lawn behind
Sheng
the
Minglan
hotel.
looked at Sheng Xiao.
Susie Pei was
and Sheng
supposed to
Xiao
go
looked
with
at
the
them.
Shen family.
But she felt a pain in her stomach before she went out. Lu Wenhua was so scared that he sent her to the hospital for a checkup. Sheng
The
Minglan
guests
looked
arrived
deeply
one
into
after
Sheng
another.
Xiao's eyes.
But Muqiqi
And then
was
at her
a stranger
brother.
to them.
In the end, she
only
simply
followed
said,
the man beside
"No.
her.
How
At
could
the
you
same
not?"
time,
Sheng
Xiao
Xiao
said
said
meaningfully.
meaningfully.
Dressing up in
Then
front
he
of the
patted
mirror.
the seat
It
beside
was
him.
Muqiqi's
How can
engagement
we talk if
ceremony.
you don't sit down?
As her cousin,
Should
Sheng
she
Xiao,
attend it?
now is not the
She
time
had
for
nowhere
jokes.
to vent her anger.
You just have
She
to
wanted
agree to
Muqiqi
Grandpa
to
Sheng's
feel
engagement,
embarrassed,
even if she
Sheng
was
Xiao
going
told
to
her
die.
directly.
At the
You want me
engagement
to agree?
ceremony, when he
Mama
relaxes,
Sheng and fourth sister
what you need
returned
to
to the
do is
hotel
to bring
early
your
to
company
welcome
to
the
the
guests.
table.
However,
I know you've been
Grandpa
preparing
Sheng did
for
not
it.
show up.
When it's time
At that
for the
moment,
engagement
both
ceremony,
of them knew that the
you
old
can break
urchin
the
was
engagement
purposely
on the
not
spot.
attending his
Then,
grandson's
you
engagement
can
ceremony.
negotiate with Elder
It was
Sheng
all because
and
Sheng
tell
Xiao
him
had caused
that
a
he
scene
won't
at Sheng
interfere with
Mansion
your
last
development
night.
for the next
When
3
people
years.
asked about Grandpa
Otherwise,
Sheng,
we'll all see the
Mama
consequences.
Sheng could only tell them that
You can be
Grandpa
so
Sheng was not
shameless.
feeling well.
Why can't
and
you?
would only come
Sheng
after
Xiao
a short
asked in
rest.
return.
Sheng
Fourth
Xiao was the
sister,
crown
you are
prince
a
of
bold
Huang
person.
Yao. He
And
was
the
his
only
favorite
person
grandson
who can fight for
How
your
could you
freedom
not
as
attend
you?
Sheng Xiao's
Just tell me if
engagement
you need
ceremony?
anything else.
A discerning
As your
person
brother,
could
how
see
can
the
I not
crux of
help
the
you?
matter.
Perhaps
Sheng
the
Minglan
old
took a
man
deep
did
breath
not like the
and
little
said nothing.
bride.
But when the
Since you are
Shen
going to
family heard
resist,
about it,
why don't you
they
make
would
a
feel
big fuss?
uncomfortable.
The gentle
Xiao
fourth
Qin,
sister suddenly
what's wrong
made
with
such
Grandpa
a big
Sheng?
fuss.
Is
Do
he
you
not
think
feeling
that
well?
Grandpa Sheng,
Grandpa
a
Sheng asked
calculated
Mama
person,
Sheng,
would not
there
know
are
the
so many
consequences
guests today.
of forcing you?
If Grandpa Sheng
Moreover,
does not show
you
up,
are
how
determined
can
to be
he
a
meet the
strong
guests
woman?
7 days later?
This is to ease the
Grandpa
impact
Sheng,
of breaking
Dad
the
will be here
engagement on
soon.
Grandpa Sheng.
Don't worry. Sheng
Mama
Minglan
Sheng
clenched
answered
her
Grandpa
fists.
Sheng.
Then she
Today is
loosened
Sheng
them.
Xiao and Muqiqi's
She said that
big
you will
day.
cooperate with
As their
me.
grandfather,
Of course I said
he
that.
cannot be absent.
Even if it is for
Grandpa
my Jing
Sheng
Yun,
did not look good.
I will help you to the best of my ability.
It was because he had heard some bad
in
rumors.
that instant.
So
Sheng
he asked
Minglan
about
was
it.
confused.
If he did not agree
What does
to
this
their
have to do
engagement
with
ceremony,
Jing Yun?
he
Nothing,
should have expressed
because
his attitude
you are the one
right
who
from
brought
the
him
beginning.
here.
But after
Sheng
he
Minglan
agreed
glared
to
at him.
he pretended
But she
to be
still
polite.
believed Sheng Xiao.
What was going on?
Not only because
The
she
two
wanted to
families
take
had
the
been
gamble,
friends for so many
but because
years.
she knew very
Were they
well
going
what
to
Sheng
fall out
Xiao
over
was
such a
capable
small
of.
matter?
Then
Mama
we have a
Sheng
deal
was
on
very
this matter.
calm.
Because
Go and
Sheng
take care
Xiao
of
had said that
Muqiqi.
Grandpa
I
Sheng
will
would
go back
definitely
first.
attend.
She
She believed
Minglan
in her
nodded
son.
slightly.
Don't
Jing
worry,
Yun, Shun,
send Miss Ming
Grandpa
off.
Shun took a deep
Zheng
breath
Xiao shouted
and continued to greet his comrades and guests.
nodded calmly.
There were many
He had heard the
important people who
conversation
came
between
today.
the siblings
They
just
all
now,
wanted to make
and he had
Muchichi more
mixed feelings
confident
about it.
after she married
It turned
into
out
the
that
Shung
Shung
family.
Minglan had no one she liked.
This answer was both comforting and cruel to him.
At that moment,
Sheng Xiao smiled as he watched Sheng Minglan leave.
However,
challenging
Grandpa
the old
Sheng was
man's
nowhere to
authority
be seen
was
at
his
the venue.
favorite thing to do.
The guests at the banquet
old man was
called
getting
Sheng
on in
Minghui
years
and told her about
and
it.
should have stepped down
Sheng
from his
Minghui was
position
quite
of
proud of
power a
herself.
long time ago.
Although Grandpa
Since he
loves
chose
Sheng
to
Xiao
torment
the
his
most,
children
I
and
am still a
grandchildren,
member of the Sheng family.
then he couldn't blame
Yesterday,
his children
Sheng
and
Xiao
grandchildren
treated me like that
for giving him a
because of
taste
an
of his
outsider.
own medicine.
Of course,
Suddenly,
Grandpa would
she
show
was
his
looking
attitude.
forward to seeing fourth
Now
sister
everyone is saying
standing
that
on
the
the
old
stage
man didn't appear
and breaking off the
because
engagement.
he's not satisfied
A
with
woman
this
with
little
courage
bride.
should be the prettiest.
That's how it should be.
Help me add more stories.
I just
He
want
just
to know
didn't
how
know
the
if
Sheng
Jing Yan
family
would
is
fall
going
head
to show
over
their
heels
faces
for his
today.
fourth sister.
Sheng Minghui
When he
returned
returned
to
to
the
the
living room of
he
the
saw
Sheng
the little
family's
one
mansion.
sleeping soundly.
She was talking
He
on the
carried her
phone and
into his
smirking.
arms.
It
Don't
was only
worry,
a matter of
it's just
time
a small
before he
matter.
left the Sheng family.
There were so many people
Not
at
only
the
his
venue.
fourth sister,
Moreover,
but sooner or
Wuxia
later,
was a
he would
controversial
also have to
person.
walk this path.
It was very easy
Jing
to
Yan
add
was
some
driving
spice
back
to the
to
Sheng
story.
mansion.
Soon,
Sheng Minglan
Sheng
looked
Xiao
out of the
brought
window
Wuxia
and
to
suddenly
the
asked
entrance of
him,
the hotel.
"Am I
But
being
before they
unfilial?"
entered the venue,
Miss
Mama
Minglan,
Sheng
I
secretly
think
told
there are
Sheng
many
Xiao,
kinds of filial piety.
your grandfather still
If you
hasn't
keep
appeared
accepting your
until
elders'
now,
arrangements
he will
and
appear.
don't think for
Sheng
yourself,
Xiao said.
then you are
Then
just
he
an
lowered his
accessory
head
to
and
your
looked at
elders.
Muchichi.
You are
Are
not
you
an
ready to go in?
independent and complete
My little
person.
wife. Jing
Of
Yan
course,
answered
my
her.
future husband.
To put it bluntly,
Muchichi looked
the
at
old
Sheng Xiao
chairman
with
only treats
determination.
his children and
She held his arm
grandchildren
tightly.
as chess pieces
Then
on the
Sheng Xiao
chessboard.
brought
He
Muchichi
might be
into the venue.
sincere.
Because
At that
people
moment,
who play
hundreds
chess
of
will
people
put their
screamed.
energy into it.
White balloons
But
and
do you think he
flowers
has
were
any
flying all
feelings?
over the place.
Sheng Minglan
The combination
fell
of
into
a
deep thought
handsome
after
man
hearing that.
and a beautiful woman
Moreover,
was accompanied
if
by
there
such
is
a young
anything you
bride.
need me to do,
Naturally,
Miss Minglan, just
the
let me
cheers
know.
of the people at the
Jing
venue
Yan
were
had
even
been by
louder.
Sheng Zhao's side for many
Muchichi
years.
held her head high.
It was not an
She didn't panic
exaggeration
at
to
all.
say that Jing
She
Yan
stuck close
could
to
be
Sheng
a person
Xiao
because
because
she
he
knew
knew
that
everything
at this
on his
moment,
own,
Sheng
even if he
Xiao
was
was the
alone.
only person she
Are
could
you doing
rely
this
on
to repay a
The
debt
two
of
of them walked
gratitude
through the arched
Actually,
door
you
filled
don't
with
have
white
to.
flowers.
No.
Then they
Jing
reached
Yan
the
answered
stage.
Sheng Minglan.
The engagement ceremony
I want to be
would
like
be
young
held
master.
at 10:48
I want
in the
to
morning.
protect the people
But
I
even
think are
then,
important to
Grandpa
me.
Sheng still
Sheng
didn't show
Minglan was
up.
stunned.
The guests
Of course,
rushed
she was
forward
touched
to take photos
She
with
felt
the
that
two
out
of
of
them.
all the siblings
Of course,
in the Sheng
there
family,
was a lot of gossip
only
among
when
the
she
guests.
was with Sheng Xiao
Even
could
the
she
head
feel
of the
the
Sheng
vitality
family
of
didn't
life.
show up.
And Jing
No
Yan
matter
was
how
quite
influenced by
influenced
Sheng
by ceremony
Xiao.
is. Soon,
It won't
the
be
two returned
acknowledged
to the
by
Sheng
others.
family's residence.
This little
But
bride
it
of
was
the Sheng
already
family
dawn.
is amazing.
Sheng Minghui might
I
have
heard
heard
that
the
she
noise.
was adopted by the
She
crown
went out
prince.
in her pajamas.
Then she
When
climbed
she
into
saw
his
Sheng
bed.
Minglan
It's
coming
so
back
good to
with
be
the smell
young.
of alcohol,
You can do whatever
she
you
could
want
not
with
help
your
but
body.
smile. If she didn't
Did
do
you go
it,
out to get
how
drunk?
could there be such
It
a
has
good thing
nothing
today?
to do with you. You guys,
Sheng
don't be so
Minglan
jealous.
pushed her away.
She is the
Move
daughter of
away.
the Shen family.
Fourth sister.
It's ridiculous
Grandpa has
because
ordered
she
me
is
to
the
find a
daughter
way
of
to
the Shen
separate
family.
Sheng Xiao and
According to
Muchichi.
seniority,
Do you think
the
I will
crown
succeed?
prince is the uncle of
Hearing
this little
that,
bride.
Sheng Minglan
How can an
pinned her
uncle and a
against the
niece
wall.
have such good
Does
cultivation?
hurting your own brother
The
make you
gossip
happy?
came one after
Sheng
another.
Xiao has never
The
treated
Shen
me
family
as his
couldn't
sister.
stand it anymore.
Sheng Minglan said excitedly. Do you know how excited I was when Grandpa
It
told
even
me?
involved Shen
I couldn't even
Jianchuan.
sleep well
Hey,
last night.
do you see the man in
you
the
will
wheelchair?
not succeed.
That is the
Sheng
eldest
Minglan
young
said
master of the
seriously.
Shen family.
Not only that,
who could wake up
you
after
will kneel
10
in
years
front of
in a
Sheng
vegetative
Xiao
state
and beg him to
He is
let
the
you go.
biological
Fourth
father of the
sister,
little bride.
You better take care of yourself.
Speaking of which,
aren't
it's
you
even
also
more
like a clay
interesting.
bodhisattva
They are
crossing
twins
the
of
river?
the same mother,
Sheng
but different
Minglan
fathers.
let go of Sheng Minglan
I don't know how
and returned
promiscuous
to her
they
room.
are.
Because
Because
Shen's
Shen's angry.
family has a military
Grandpa Sheng
background.
had agreed to
Those
Sheng
who are
Xiao
wearing
and
military
Muchichi's
uniforms
engagement.
are not Grandpa
But behind
Sheng's
his back,
comrades.
he asked someone to
Unfortunately,
separate them.
These
Was
words
this
were
not
heard by Lin
despicable?
Mu, and who was squeezed in the crowd. He still remembered
Of course,
Wu
she should have
Qianqian's
gotten used
instruction.
to it.
If someone
she
was
still
to
had
cause
a glimmer
trouble
of
for
hope for
Muchichi
Grandpa
at the
Sheng
engagement
after all these
ceremony,
years.
he must
But
help
now,
them to
she
make
could
a
not
name
hold
for
it in
themselves.
anymore.
So
Since
Lin
eighth
Mu
brother
walked
had
to
already
the two
thought it
beauties
through,
with
then
champagne
let's
in his
do it.
hand. I can't
Why
let
are
her
you
suffer
talking
here
so
alone.
much when you are
If she
attending
was
an engagement ceremony. Everyone would suffer
even
together.
If Muchichi doesn't get Grandpa Sheng's approval,
woke up early.
It won't be your turn.
Seeing that Sheng Xiao
the
had
two
not
ladies
left,
looked at Lin Mu.
she quickly sat beside him
and took a few
Sheng
steps
Xiao
back.
took the bowl of soup
Let's
from
go.
Fifth Aunt.
He is the young
and
master
of the Lin family, and
Drink
also
it.
a man not to be
Muchichi
trifled with.
was very obedient.
On the stage, she drank the soup and
Sheng
one
Xiao
gulp.
were preparing for
How
the
is
ceremony.
Fourth Sister's matter?
But below the stage,
Fourth Sister
these
has
people
her
were
own
gossiping.
way.
But
that was
why
why
Lu Qianqian
it's your
was not
19th
willing to
birthday
appear.
soon.
How do you want
Otherwise,
to
it would
spend
be a
it
good
this year?
show.
Lin
Sheng
Mu
Xiao
sneered.
changed the topic.
He suddenly
Last
sighed at
year,
the ruthlessness
she made a
of the
scene
older
at
generation's
Muchichi's
house.
Whether it
But
was
in
his
just a
grandfather
year,
or
she
the
had
old
become
man
the
of the
bride
Sheng
of the Sheng
family.
They did not
I
have
just
any
want to
human
spend the whole
feelings
day
in
with
their
you.
hearts.
Even the crown prince could not force Grandpa Sheng to attend the ceremony. Sheng Xiao stood on the stage. Of course, he knew what the people below the stage were thinking.
She was very satisfied
because
with the
he did not
result.
see Grandpa
Then,
Sheng.
she packed
but
her
at this
things and
moment,
went to school.
A helicopter
But when she
descended
arrived
from the sky,
she saw
and
a
landed
huge
on
banner
the lawn.
hanging at the school
Then,
gate.
a young
There
foreign
was
man
only
came
one
down from the
sentence written on
helicopter.
it.
He had bodyguards with him.
I want to woo you.
And the bodyguards were
Muchichi
carrying
glanced at
wheel
him
guns and quickly went to the classroom, because she remembered what Xiao Xiao said on the way back from Sheng Mansion that
Chapter
night.
258.
Old Sheng could not wait to shove men and women
I think
around
I've seen
her
him
in
on the
Xiao
news
Xiao.
before.
It was not
He's a
easy
prince
to
from
do
a Nordic
things around
country.
Xiao Xiao.
Yes,
but she could be
I heard that the
manipulated
crown
by
prince
anyone,
personally invited
especially in
him
a place
to
like
attend
school.
his engagement
Muchichi
ceremony.
did not know
You
who
can
put
see
up
how
the
much he
banner.
values Muchichi.
She just kept to herself.
It's worth it
but
to
when
be
she
able to
entered
see
the elegance of a Nordic
she found a
prince,
sumptuous breakfast.
It seems that
and
the little bride has a very high status in the crown prince's heart.
The crowd began to talk
Otherwise,
among themselves.
he wouldn't have gone through so
Isn't
much
Muchichi
trouble.
engaged
The
to the
guests
crown
were
prince?
instantly envious
How could
of
she go around
Muchichi
fooling around
when they saw the arrival
She's
of
really
such an
bold.
important guest?
Isn't she afraid
Meanwhile,
that the crown prince
Sheng
would find
Xiao
out?
and Muchichi went to welcome them
threw everything
personally
into the trash
Oh,
can
this
and
bride is so
continued her
beautiful.
lessons calmly.
Xiao,
How
you're
could
really
she let old
impressed?
Sheng's plan
The
succeed?
guests glanced at Muchichi
There would be fruit juice
and
on the
gave Sheng
table
Xiao a
after
thumbs
class.
up. Lunch
Charlie,
would be prepared
thank you for
beforehand.
coming.
Then,
Sheng Xiao had
the
already
banner would be
prepared a
hung
throne
on the
to
tree
welcome
again
the
after
guest.
school. Of
What
course,
kind of
the
place
media
was
took
school?
photos like crazy
Soon rumors
and
would
reported
spread.
the whole thing.
However,
only
Muchichi
then did
did
Grandpa
not
Sheng
respond.
realize that
When
his good
school was
grandson
over,
had prepared
Sheng
such a
Xiao was
card.
still the one who
Even the
arrived
prince
at
of
school.
another country
He
came,
smiled when he
but
saw the
he,
banner
as his
in the
grandfather,
school.
did not
Muchichi
show up.
walked out of the
How
classroom.
would it look if the news
Sheng
got
Xiao
out?
took her bag
At
naturally.
this moment,
They got
the
into the
rumors
car
about
and left
Muchichi
together.
among the guests
The
lessened
crown
a lot.
prince must have seen the
Grandpa
banner
Sheng
at
was
the
quite
school gate,
satisfied,
right?
It did
He
not
doesn't
matter
care.
if Grandpa Sheng
In my
came
opinion,
or not.
this is
Anyway,
all Crown Prince
there was
is
already
doing.
a guest coming.
Their fiancé's
Grandpa
relationship
Sheng was
is sulking
so
at
good.
home.
Why should
In
he
the
worry
end,
so much
he
about
asked
others?
the driver to prepare the car.
I've asked Jing Yin
He
to
wanted
contact
to go to
the
the
school
engagement
and get the
ceremony.
surveillance footage.
Sheng Minghui watched Grandpa Sheng
soon.
leave. She
Sheng
stomped
Xiao
her
told
feet at
Muchichi
home.
on the way home.
She did not expect that her grandfather
let me handle
still
it when we
wanted to
find
go
him.
and support that
Muchichi
little girl
replied,
of unknown origin.
Is it okay?
But at the engagement
course.
ceremony,
How else would
Sheng
I be
Xiao
your little
did not
one?
want to wait for his
Muchichi
grandfather
smiled
at all.
confidently.
When it was 10:48,
I want to go back and see my
DMC
aunt
took his
tonight.
position.
I wonder how
The guests
she and the
also
child
took
are
their
doing.
seats. If you want to see her,
became
you
quiet.
can bring her to
Sheng
Jingting
Xiao
to
led
stay for a
Muchichi
few days.
to the white floral
Fifth
carpet.
aunt is also
They
good at
walked all the way
preventing
to the
miscarriage.
stage.
She
He
can
held
help
her
her
little wife's
recuperate.
hand
And walked
I'll
with
ask my uncle for
determination.
his opinion.
At this time,
This
Grandpa
was the first
Sheng
time
arrived
they
late.
had returned to
He
the
walked
small
into the
villa
hall with his
after their
walking stick
engagement
and greeted everyone.
Because of her advanced
I'm
age.
sorry, Susie
I'm
Pei
late
could
because
only
I'm not
rest in
feeling
bed.
well.
She didn't
Father,
have a
sit
good
here.
appetite.
Mama
So
Sheng
she
guided
guided
Grandpa
Grandpa
Sheng
Sheng
to Grandpa
But when
Sheng's
she saw
side.
Muchichi and Sheng
Grandpa
Xiao,
Sheng is
her
here.
eyes brightened.
Then this little
Chi-chi,
granddaughter-in-law,
Aunt,
he
it's all
admitted
my
it, right?
fault.
It's
When
been
the guests
so many
saw
days
Grandpa
and I
Sheng,
haven't come
they
to see
understood
you.
his attitude.
Aren't you here now?
His appearance was
Susie
equivalent
Pei
to
grabbed her
admitting
hand and
Muchichi's
looked at her
identity.
carefully.
She was the
You are
little
engaged
bride
now.
of the Sheng family.
You must love young
no one
Master
could doubt
Sheng
her.
from now on.
Sheng Xiao
I know.
stood on the podium.
What about the
and
Sheng
watched his
family?
grandfather?
Is he easy to
the
get
battle
along
of
with?
wits and courage between grandfather and grandson would probably
Everything's
start
fine.
today. Muchichi
Now,
replied,
I hereby
she didn't
announce
want to
that
tell
the engagement
Susie Pei
ceremony
that she was in
between
trouble
Mr.
now
Sheng Xiao
because it would make
and Miss
Susie Pei
Muchichi
worry.
begins.
You have to
Newlyweds,
remember,
please
don't
hold
belittle
hands and
yourself.
face each other.
You are also a
Today,
dignified
under the
young
witness
lady,
of our family
not
and
from
friends.
a small family.
I will host
now
the
you have the
engagement
Shen
ceremony
family and
for the
uncle.
two newlyweds.
We are all your reliable arms. Don't be bullied casually. I would also
Don't be
like to
silent.
congratulate the
With
two
Xiao Xiao
newlyweds.
around,
After
the Sheng
getting to
family
know
can
each
only
other,
stare at you.
getting to know each other,
Muchichi looked
and
at
falling
Sheng
in
Xiao.
love. She
We are
trusted
ready
him.
to tie the knot and
Of course,
confirm each other's
I'm more
future
assured
marriage
with young
partners.
Master Sheng around.
After a long
You
oath,
must hold each
the
other's
MC
hands
suddenly
tightly.
asked the guests
Don't
present.
let go.
Don't
Friends
be
and
like your
relatives
mother
of
and
both
father,
sides, who
Is there
regret for the
anyone
rest
who
of their
objects
lives.
to the new couple?
Your main task
No one
now
answered.
is to take care of
Although
yourself
old
and the
Sheng's
baby.
expression was
As
not
for
good,
me, I'm going
and
to
he
be
did not like
19 soon.
Muchichi.
Aunt, I
He
can
would not
carry a
go
lot
back
on
on
his
his
word since he had
Now,
promised it
Muchichi
himself.
was no longer afraid
All right.
of him.
Then I
The
hope
family
that in
had
the
dinner
coming
happily.
days,
The
the
newlyweds
newlyweds
sent
can
them to
hold
the door
hands and move forward
Chi-chi,
together.
I've just
and
been
enter
promoted
the
to
marriage
the
hall
principal
as soon as
Eton.
possible.
So I'm planning to
invite the
reveal your
newlyweds to
identity
exchange
and
their
your
engagement
identity
tokens.
This way,
At this
you
time,
will have a political
fourth
and
sister
business
brought a ring
background.
box with Sheng
No one will
Xiao
dare
and
to touch you
Muchichi's
easily.
engagement rings in
Uncle,
it.
you fought for
This
it.
was the
How
exclusive
can I just sit
engagement
back
ring for
and enjoy
every
the fruits
descendant
of your
of
labor?
Huang Yao?
Moreover,
the names of the newlyweds would be engraved on it.
If there comes a day when I have to rely on my identity to win,
left
I'll
hand
come and
solemnly.
beg you again.
After putting the ring on her
Principal Lu,
finger,
you don't have
he
to
put it
worry
on his
about
lips
cheer.
and kissed it
Sheng
gently.
Xiao knew that the elder
and
meant
Muqiqi
well,
also took
but
out
he
the
could
ring
protect his woman
and carefully put it
even
on
if the
Sheng
Sheng
Xiao's
family
finger.
was a dangerous
Seeing
place.
the sparkling
He could
diamond
still
rings
let
under
Qi
the
or
sun,
do whatever she wanted.
Sheng Xiao put his
I
arms
don't
around
ask for
Muqiqi's
much.
waist.
I just hope
and
that
kissed
Xiao
her
Qi
lips
can
in
live
front
with
of everyone.
dignity in the Sheng
The guests
family.
suddenly became
I do.
excited.
The
Muqiqi told
MC
Lu
also
when
smiled
firmly
and said,
Xiao Xiao gave it
"Congratulations
to
the
me.
newlyweds.
That's good."
The engagement
It was already
ceremony
10
has
o'clock
ended
when the couple
successfully.
returned to Jingting.
Next, we will have a
after
wonderful
visiting
ball.
Suzy Pei.
Guests,
But
please
Jin
enjoy
Yan
the
still
romantic
sent the
moment.
surveillance footage.
The engagement
Sheng Xiao
ceremony
gave it
went
to
very
Muqiqi.
smoothly. You
Thanks
said it.
to Charlie
You
helping
can deal
Sheng
with
Xiao
it.
at the scene.
You won't even look
Grandpa
at it.
Sheng did not
Sheng
play
Xiao
any
was
tricks.
very confident
He
about
sat on
that.
the chair willingly.
Let's not talk
However,
about whether
old
you have the
Master
guts
Shen
to
was
do it.
very unhappy
Who dares
beside
to
him.
go against me in
Grandpa
terms of looks?
Sheng means
We have been
wealth
friends
and
for
fitness.
decades.
Narcissist.
What's going on today?
Mu Chichi couldn't
Grandpa
help but
Shen,
roll her eyes.
what are you thinking?
But you
I'm
don't
just
have
not
to
feeling
compare
well.
yourself with them.
Mu Chichi
These
is my
people are just
granddaughter-in-law.
small fries in my
I'm
heart.
looking forward to
Sheng
her
Xiao
arrival.
hugged Mu Chichi by
I
her
don't
waist.
think you're looking forward
After
to
dinner,
It's
Grandpa
a good time
Shen
to warm
snorted
up.
and stood up.
Aren't you afraid
go
that
and
you'll
greet
get
my guests.
**X when
Grandpa
you're so
Sheng was
diligent?
unwilling.
Are you
But he
afraid
still
that you won't
maintained
have
his
sex
smile
for the
in
rest
front
of
of
your
everyone.
life?
He had to be
Now
kind
that
and
they were
friendly,
officially
especially
engaged,
in front
he
of
could
the
have
prince
as
of
much
another
sex as
country.
he wanted.
According
But
to
Mu
Jinchuan's
Chichi's
body would
tradition,
suffer.
Mu Chichi
After
will
Mu
dance
Chichi
with
fell
your
asleep
father later.
Sheng Xiao
Don't be
still
afraid,
called
Mu
Jing
Chichi.
Yan.
Do you
Have
understand?
you found out who's behind
After
those
the ceremony,
despicable things in
Mama
the school?
Sheng walked to Mu
They
Chichi
have something to do
and
with
reminded
Miss
her
Chi.
carefully.
Jing Yan answered.
Grandpa Sheng will
It
not
was
cause
already
you
midnight.
trouble on such an occasion.
She was still sitting
He
in
can't
front
afford
of the
to lose
computer.
his face.
That was the fate of
Mom,
a single
I
dog.
understand.
Mu Chichi nodded. Meanwhile, Sheng Xiao looked at Papa Sheng disdainfully.
After hearing her answer,
he reached out
Sheng
his hand
Xiao
to Mu
hugged Xiao
Chichi
Qi
and laughed.
Come on, Mu
It seems
Chichi.
that Miss Chi
Sheng
can't
Xiao
wait
did
to
not
have a
want to
taste
follow
of the
the
African
rules.
people.
But Mama
Young
Sheng
reminded
reminded
him not to
Do
be
you really
stubborn.
want to?
Mu Chichi
When have
was
I
not
ever
gone
gone
back
back
on my
doll?
words.
Mu Chichi
Since she wanted to
provoke
provoke
us
with her eyes.
Then let's do
Then
as
she
she
gave her
wishes.
hand to Papa
Help
Sheng.
me prepare for the African people.
If she does anything,
But Sheng
I'll give
Xiao
her
did
a
not
big
want
gift.
his father's hand
Anyway,
to touch
it's just
Mu
mutual
Chichi.
disgust.
So he put his
I
mother's
understand.
hand in Papa
Jing
Sheng's.
Yan nodded. You dance with your woman. I'll dance with my woman. Then, he led Mu Chichi to the middle of the dance floor. After
Why are you
making
so
the last
narrow-minded?
call, there are
Jing Yan
some
was
things
about
that
to
I
go to
just can't
bed
accept.
when he heard
Someone
Sheng Xiao
knocking on the door
Mu-Chi-Chi
and
Jing
whispered
Yan
into
got
her
up and
ear.
opened the door.
Don't be in
He
a
was
hurry
stunned when
to
he
take
saw
off your
Sheng
gown
Minglan.
tonight.
Miss
Why?
Minglan,
Why
you'll
are
know
you
at
still
night.
awake?
Sheng
I'm
Xiao hugged
preparing
his
for the
little one
company
and danced on the
I
dance
saw that your
floor.
room is still
It
lit.
seemed to be the
So I
first
came
time
to
they
ask
danced
you,
together.
Is it not
Mu
convenient
Chichi
for
was
me to come
obviously
in?
not familiar
No.
with the steps.
Jing Yan shook his
Ever
head.
since she learned how
I'm
to
just
dance,
worried that
she
Miss
rarely
Minglan
danced.
might see you,
But it
and
did
make
not
a fuss
affect
about
their
it.
soul connection.
You have been in the Sheng family for so many years. Everyone knows what kind of person you are. Don't be afraid. Sheng Minglan entered Jing
Chapter
Yan's room
259
and saw the various
Although
gifts
Grandpa
he had
Sheng
given
was
her
not
on his
happy
desk.
about it.
They were
He
all
had
from
made a
abroad.
lot of friends in the
Are
business
they all here?
world through the
Other
engagement
than Miss
ceremony.
Minglan, no one else
Moreover,
gave me gifts.
he could have a
So
relationship
they are all
with the
here.
Prince of Northern
Jing Yan
Europe.
replied, It was beneficial for Huang Yao to
these are your
expand its
things.
territory.
Why should I mind?
Because of that, Sheng
He could
Minglan
tolerate
smiled and sat down
for
in
the
Jing
time
Yan's
being.
room. Soon,
You must have
the
a lot of
engagement
experience
cake was brought
in doing
to the
business
table.
with Sheng
Sheng
Xiao.
Xiao brought
Come
Mu Chichi
quickly
to the cake.
I have a few
Both
questions
of them
and I
took a
want your
knife and
advice.
cut open the big
Being
cake.
alone with
The
Sheng
guests
Minglan
applauded
in the same
thunderously.
space.
At
There
this
was nothing
time,
else he could
someone
do
walked
except
out
for
from
the
the
night
crowd
in
with a
Jingting.
confident smile.
Jing Yan was
She
very
looked at
nervous
Sheng Xiao
because he
and
was
Mu
really
Chichi and
afraid
said,
that Miss
I'm
Minglan
sorry,
would be
Chichi.
gossiped about.
I'm late.
Then can
The
you
Shuns
finish
were
your
shocked when
questions
they saw
quickly?
her.
Can you
Mama
go back
Sheng
and
frowned.
rest?
Early?
Perhaps
Sheng
it was
Minglan
because
could
Sheng
not help but
Huai was a
smile when
member
she
of the
heard
Shen
Jing Yan's
family.
question.
So the security
Why do you
guards
care
did
about
not
my
stop her.
reputation more
But
than me?
she had been
Come
chased out
quickly.
of the Shen
Jing
family a
Yan
long
walked to
time
Sheng
ago.
Minglan's side.
Why did she appear
Although
here?
he was very nervous,
I forgot to
he
introduce
still
myself.
took the documents from
Perhaps
Sheng
many of
Minglan.
you know me.
And when
I'm
it
the
came to
eldest daughter
professional
of the Shen
issues,
family.
Jing
My
Yan was
name
a
is Shen
completely
Ruai.
different person.
I'm also the cousin
because
of
he
the
could
bride
only be
Mu-Chi-Chi.
confident when it came
Shen
to the
Ruai
business
said
world.
with a smile.
And when it came
Suddenly,
to
her
management
facial
funds and
expression
systems,
changed.
he was
She
radiant
pointed at
and looked
Mu-Chi-Chi
very
and said,
heroic.
But
Sheng
you know,
Xiao was a natural
I was chased
manipulator.
out of the family
He
by
liked
this
to
cousin
take
of
risks
mine.
and gamble. A
He was
granddaughter
also
with
good
an
at
unknown
devising
background
strategies.
and an unattractive
And Jing
background
Yan was
has
the
chased me.
meticulous and
A
precise
dignified
like
young
an
lady
electronic
out of the
instrument.
door.
Sheng
How
Minglan
ironic.
felt something deep
Most
in her
importantly,
heart
after
she
she
knew
heard
that I
that.
liked Uncle Xiao.
Although women could
But
hold
she
up
did
half
not
the
tell
sky
me about
now,
her
they
relationship
were
with
still
Uncle
lacking
Xiao.
when it came to
She treated
intelligence.
me like a monkey
Because Jing
She
Yan
played
could
me like
think
a
and
fool.
consider all aspects.
Mu-Chi-Chi,
Rationality
tell me in
was
front
the
of
key
everyone
to a
today.
man's success
Are
in
you
his
trying
career.
so hard to
When
marry
they were
into the
done,
Sheng family?
Sheng Minglan couldn't
Shen
help
Ruai
smiling.
exclaimed hysterically. You're no longer the little boy in rags on a snowy night. You're a very bold intruder.
Ford, the questions
I
have
could
been
only
answered.
watch as you devour
You should return
everything
to your
around
room
me
and rest.
You're good.
Shung
Now
Minglon
you've gotten
nodded
what you
when
wanted.
she saw how serious he was.
After
You should rest
listening to
early
what
too.
Shen Ruori said,
As if relieved of
all
a
the
heavy
guests
burden,
looked at each other.
Jing Yun took a deep
Perhaps.
breath.
All of them
Still,
were waiting for
before
a good
Shung
show
Minglon
because
left
of
his room,
Muqiqi's birth.
She turned to him and
Grandpa
asked,
Shen was furious when
with
he
your
saw
ability,
that.
you
He
could have
asked
gone
Huang
out
Yu
and
to
made a
drag her
name for
away.
yourself a long
Second
time
aunt,
ago.
I know you're
Why
going
would you
to
stay
stop
as
me,
Sheng Zhao's
but
assistant?
I'm not afraid.
If
Young
young
master
already
needs
here,
me.
I
I'm
will
prepared
follow
to
him
lose
for
my
a
reputation.
But I'm going to drag Muchichi to hell with me. This way, dear guests, I can protect you forever. You probably don't know how powerful my little cousin is. Shang Minglan didn't know what from the Mu family all the way to the Shen family. She took the documents and she went back to all her opponents one after another. But when she closed the door, now her heart suddenly has become successful. In fact, and is married she had to the already discussed these issues with the company's risk appraiser. It must be hard for you to be exposed, she did not know why. But she could only go to Jing away and laugh loudly. The big Sheng family, Roy, so that she would not feel nervous. But Jing Yun was a shy child. So she had to be careful. I don't believe that the Sheng family will like this 18-year-old bride. And she did it. I'm sure that the Sheng family would rather choose me than Muchichi before the announcement of the engagement was made. It was supposed to be a beautiful engagement ceremony. She couldn't be blamed for making a bigger fuss than Sheng Xiao. But because of Jing Yun's appearance, he only hoped it became a scene of a fight dream would come true. The next morning, Muchichi arrived she came out to intensify the conflict. She smiled when she saw the banner hanging in front of everyone. This ice beauty Mama was famous in school and wanted to say for Sheng Xiao, but she didn't need any friends. She did not let Sheng Xiao speak. If she walked friends, she would have a new social life. So I don't care what you say about me. She felt that it was about Grandpa's health. Soon, you've ruined the reputation of the Shen family. The breakfast on her table, I want to wake you up with dustbin again. Yesterday, Shenruai covered her face. Person was. She was furious. But today it was different. Shenruai, the person was a second-year student in the finance Everyone faculty. Has their own bottom line. His name was Xiao Chenhao. They know whether their choice is good or bad. His character seems to be powerful that I can influence everyone's decision. If it wasn't because of that, you probably don't know that the one who influenced their decision was you, not me. In other words, it was a kind of admiration for Sheng Xiao. The one who made grandfather give up on your family was also you. About Xiao if you really have the self-awareness of being the Shen family's young lady to get a seat. At this moment, soon, you wouldn't be standing here pointing at my nose and venting your dissatisfaction. He was wearing a sporty outfit and headphones because of you, thinking that Shen family will lose face. Then the teacher Xiao and I are engaged today. But before the class started, he came to make a scene. Muchichi walked to the front and said to the finance teacher, "It's because I have to tell all the guests that I'm different from you. I want to say something." You're selfish. The audience cheered. You can't bear because the responsibility of the Shen family. A first-year student in the forensic science faculty. I used to be sincere to although you. The teacher was a little confused. Say that I didn't treat you well. Gave up his seat when I came back from abroad. He wanted to know what Muchichi wanted to do. Then Muchichi walked to the podium. Muchichi glanced at all the seniors. I found out where you got the medicine from during the birthday banquet. I'm sorry. If you're sincere to me, 10 minutes of your time. Why did you apply the medicine on me? Because I have a private matter that I want to solve. Go ahead. Put away the audience wanted to watch a good show. I think all the guests here are mocking me because of my birth, aren't they? Senior Xiao Chenhao. They can tease me at any time. As Muchichi called out, no matter what the occasion everyone's eyes were focused on him. Muchichi suddenly let it go. Muchichi herself. She decided to tell the truth. Your behavior has seriously disturbed my normal life. Muchichi your banners are everywhere, and it's not environmentally friendly. Also, the breakfast you bought is not nutritious at all. I only know that my mother gave birth to me after carrying me for 10 months. Please don't put it on my table in the future. She's otherwise, as great as any other mother. Waste time cleaning my father was in a vegetative state for many years. The whole class people said that he was aggressive. Wow. I have a family. Did any of you know that I don't want to play such ambiguous games with you? That's why he was bedridden for more than 10 years. And don't cause me trouble. Do all of you think that your birth is nobler than mine? You should know who my man is, right? And you want to trample on me. How could you do such a stupid thing under such circumstances? But I won't allow you to trample on me. What are you thinking? My birth may be controversial. It's fine if you have a problem with your thinking. But the education I received is not lesser than any of you. As long as they are not blind, what's wrong, they will know what independent and complete Don't try to ruin my relationship. I will fight you to the death. That's all I want to say. As a basic human being, please continue. It's basic to respect others. I'm sorry. It's human nature to make things difficult for others. Her movement was fast and handsome. I've torn apart what you said to the guests today. I don't think you have any other weapon at the door of the classroom. I, Muchichi, am standing here. That's so cool. I'm Sheng Zhao's fiancé. I didn't expect the granddaughter you to be the one who caused such a commotion in the past 2 days. I used to be a member of the Mu family. What are you thinking? But I don't steal or rob. Why did you compete with the crown prince? I've never done evil to anyone. I live my life openly. If you want to laugh at me, go ahead. Chapter 260. Shenruai, are you trying to drag me down to hell? But I don't blame myself. My heart isn't made to contain a resentful villain like you. I want to cherish the people I care about 272. And protect the people I value. Certainly couldn't as for lovers, relatives, now that she was caught in the act. You don't have any of these, Moreover, Sheng Xiao had promised her that he was just fulfilling his promise. Showed her tenacity and softness as a woman. Cried and screamed. She never abandoned her family background with her. She was neither humble nor arrogant. Mama Sheng. Even when she was being mocked,
I've always treated
she was
you well.
not afraid at all.
But why do you have to go against
Wuxia and Sheng Xiao again and again?
All the guests were convinced by her.
I really didn't expect you to
There
be
was
so
a rumor
vicious
that this girl
that you
became
would let
famous
someone
during the
ruin
birthday
Wuxia's
banquet of the Lin
reputation in
family.
school.
But
What
they
good
did
would
not
that do to
expect
you?
that she was so powerful.
At first, I wanted
After
to
that,
apologize to you for what
turned
my
around
son
and
did.
looked at Grandpa
But now that
Shen.
the truth is out,
She said to him,
I really can't
Grandpa,
help but
please
say
don't
that you
blame
deserve it.
Shenroy.
Father,
It's the biggest
don't
punishment
blame me
for her
being
to see
vicious.
me standing
As an
here
elder,
with a strong
I've
will.
always taken good
I don't
care
think
of
I'm a
Sheng
disgrace.
But
Because
I
I'm
didn't
an upright
expect that she
person.
would do this to
Grandpa
my son
Shen
and
got up from his
daughter-in-law.
chair.
And
Even
walked
if your
toward
father
Wuchichi.
was here today,
He hugged
you
his
wouldn't be
granddaughter
able to
gently.
reason with him.
I'm old
All
now,
right, aren't the two
but
of them
after
about
hearing
the
what
same
you
thing?
said just now,
Turning the Sheng
I feel that
family
you're the
upside
hope of the
down
Sheng
over such a
family.
small matter.
Today is your big day.
In fact,
I have
what
nothing else
Grandpa
to give
Shen
you.
wanted to say
I
was
just
that
want
the
to
whole
tell you
family
that
had
I'll
turned
always
into
stand
such a
behind
mess
you
because of an
If
outsider
anyone
like
dares to mock
Wuchichi.
my granddaughter,
But he wasn't in the
you should
position
ask
to
for the
speak up
medal
for
in my
either
hand
Sheng Xiao
first.
or Sheng
You only
Minghui.
remember the
In the
ridiculous
end,
things
he
that
flung his
happened in the
sleeves
Shen
and simply
family.
ignored it.
But you don't remember
Don't
how
come to
many
me with
lives
such
I've
things
saved
in the future.
As for Shen
Just let
Roy,
it go.
I'll ask
Sheng
the security
Xiao
guards
looked
to
at
take
Sheng
her away
fearlessly.
now.
If
She's
Sheng
not a member
Minghui
of the
wanted to
Shen
keep
family.
fighting,
He
we
would
don't
fight
have
her
such
to
a
the
cruel
end.
and unscrupulous
You'll
person.
regret it one day
When
when
Grandpa
you treat
Shen
your
finished
siblings like
speaking,
this.
Lin
Because of
Muin
an
took the lead
outsider.
to applaud.
Helpless,
He was
Sheng
clapping from the
Minghui could
bottom
only
of his
return
heart.
to her room
He
angrily,
seemed to understand
while
why
Sheng
Xiao
Xiao
had to
could
stand
stand
out
the
from
rest
so
of the
many
Sheng
rich
family's
young
nagging
ladies
and gain Sheng
Bastard.
Zhao's favor.
She's still my sister.
It was because she was
How could she
broad-minded
ruin
even
someone's
though she was only
reputation like
18
this?
years old.
Papa
She
Shen
had a
cursed.
vision and a mind.
In fact,
She was not the
everyone
kind
knew
of
that if
person
Sheng
who
Xiao
would do
really
anything
wanted
for
to
money.
ruin Sheng Minghui's
She was a generous
reputation.
person.
He
Such
wouldn't
a
have brought
person
her
with
to
a
the
soul
Sheng
would
family
naturally be
or let her
recognized
lie
and
in her
loved by
bathtub.
others.
It was just
Even
to
the
intimidate
Nordic
her
prince gave her a
and
thumbs
remind
up.
her to be self-conscious.
She's a respectable girl.
Everyone knew that
Sheng
Sheng
Xiao hugged
Minghui wouldn't be
Wuchichi
harmed in
and
the Sheng
watched as the
family's
little one
territory.
conquered the guests
It's
like
fine,
an order.
Sheng Xiao.
He suddenly
didn't do
sighed
anything
inwardly.
wrong.
The timid
Mama
little
Sheng
one
and
and
her
her
husband
husband
were
seemed to have
opposing each
disappeared
other.
just like
He
that.
waved at Muchichi.
Soon, Shen
Let's go
Roy
home
was kicked
cheer.
out in front of the
Moreover,
guests. Before he
then,
left,
the
he
MC
winked at
raised
Sheng
his glass
Mingguan,
to warm up the
reminding her
atmosphere.
that she had to
To
prepare
our
what she
generous
needed
bride
in
to be.
advance.
Everyone
Although
raised
they
their
had a
hands.
big fight
Cheers.
with Sheng Minghui
Old Sheng
tonight,
glanced at the atmosphere.
everyone knew that the one
was
who really
fortunate
wanted
that
to deal with
Muchichi
had
Muchichi
redeemed the
was
situation.
Or
On
the
the
Sheng
way
family
home,
would have been
Muchichi
utterly
stared at
humiliated.
Sheng Xiao and
The little
said
one
nothing for
seemed
a
to have
long
a
time,
temper,
which
and
forced
he knew
Sheng
very
Xiao
well
to
that it
ask,
was very
"You've
similar
been
to
peeking
his
for so
grandson,
long, Sheng
What do you want
Xiao.
to say?
If he wasn't
We've
trained,
only been
he
engaged
wouldn't
for a
believe it
few
at all.
days.
And you're already fighting with the Sheng family. You're
Sheng
in
Xiao
charge of
did
the
not
school's
say a word
affairs,
from start to
and
end.
I'm in charge of
Later,
the Sheng
someone
family's
asked,
affairs. Why didn't you stand up for your wife when she was being bullied just now? I survived. No matter how
Sheng
many
Xiao
times you
answered with a
caused
smile.
trouble. Someone
I trained
has
her
to restrain
myself.
himself.
She's not a girl
Someone
who
might
needs
be
a
a
man's
man's
protection,
but I'm not
she
afraid
has
of trouble.
self-esteem,
And
but
she
the
has
Sheng
her
family
own
would
self.
lose even
I'm
the slightest
fascinated
bit of
by
kinship
her.
for me.
Muchichi
Sheng
seemed
Xiao
to be
snorted
trapped
and
by a
parked the
tracking
car in his
device in the
garage.
crowd.
Do you
Sheng
think the
Zhao's
Sheng
eyes were
family
fixed
had
on
that
her all the
before you
time.
showed up?
It seemed
Xiao
that he had
Xiao.
no
It's
intention
getting
of moving
late.
his eyes away.
Let's go home and sleep.
Soon, it was
Sheng
lunchtime
Xiao
for
got
the
out of the
engagement
car
ceremony.
and entered Jingting.
Muchichi drank some red wine
behind
during
him.
the banquet.
Suddenly,
She was a little
stepped
drunk.
forward and hugged
Mama
him
Sheng
tightly.
saw that and
Don't
quickly
be
said
angry.
to Sheng Xiao,
It's good that you know
"Bring
I'm
Muchichi
angry.
upstairs to
Sheng
rest."
Xiao smiled
The
slowly.
hotel has specially
You
prepared
have
a new
to
room for
understand
you.
that if words work in
Mom,
the Sheng
I'll leave
family,
the guests to you.
I won't target
Then,
my own family.
Sheng Xiao carried
I won't
Muchichi
give
in
in
his
to the
arms.
people who hurt you.
Muchichi was
So
a
when
little
it's
dizzy.
time to fight,
She went into
when
the
it's
room
time to fight,
and lay on
when
the
it's
bed
time
with
to
a red
fight,
face.
I'll
Sheng
protect you
Xiao
as long
lifted
as
her
I
chin
live.
when he saw that.
I know.
He looked at her with
Muchichi answered
intoxicated
obediently.
eyes. Only
Little
Sheng Xiao
one.
could make her submit to him
Muchichi
willingly.
moaned.
Because
You're
this
my
man did it
fiancé
for
now.
her. And
Then,
she had no right
Sheng
to
Xiao
question
carried
him.
Muchichi
Even
up
though
from
she
the
was
bed and
afraid
kissed
that
her
Sheng Xiao
passionately.
would lose his family
Muchichi
because
responded
of her.
instinctively.
Hearing Muchichi's
Soon her
answer,
body went limp.
Sheng Xiao turned
Downstairs,
around
the guests
and
were
hooked his
singing
arm
and
around
dancing.
Muchichi's
It
head.
was very lively.
Then he
lowered his head and kissed her. Sheng Xiao liked the gown that Wuxia was wearing very much. Even though he reached out her hand and did not want to take it off for her. Then it got out of hand. I want Sheng Xiao pressed her against the door and kissed her from the door to the living room. Sheng Xiao could not hold it anymore. Then Wuxia turned around to her upper body. He did not care about this little one who was drunk. He just wanted to melt into her blood and bones. Wuxia found the man's sensitive spot and such a beautiful little thing in his arms changed color immediately. Downstairs, little thing, your sister probably knew that her brother would not come downstairs. Stopped him and smiled at him. So she greeted the Nordic prince on his behalf. I want to be the one on top. The two of them were conversing in English. Sheng Xiao was disdainful. They were having a good time. This little one was used to being served by him, but have some thoughts. She wanted to be the one taking the initiative. Fourth sister had not been in a relationship for many years. On the other hand, If she could marry a princess, shivering in her room, it would be a good choice. She was afraid that another black man would reach a higher level at any time. Perhaps it was because Grandpa Sheng had been expanding his territory for half of his life. She really did not expect Sheng Xiao to be so decisive. Even when he was old, he would treat his sister like that just for Huang Yao to reach a higher level. He was really crazy. Look at those two. They are having a good conversation. But what could she do when even Grandpa could not do anything to Sheng Xiao? Thinking if this is fourth sister's fate, we will be happy to see it happen and locked the door. Jing Yan was not far away. When she would never forget this grudge, he walked away quietly. Just like that. Many years ago, he could not sleep for the whole night. That man from hurting fourth sister. She felt so wronged. Now, she went to Grandpa Sheng early in the morning to make a sister from dating another man. If you don't control him, he would feel heartache when he saw fourth sister with another man. More and more arrogant but he could not do anything about it because of Mu Chi. Isn't he just relying on the fact that he is the crown prince and you dote on him? As long as Grandpa gives him a lesson, I don't believe he will still be so arrogant. Of course, Grandpa Sheng wanted to teach his grandson a lesson so that he would be more obedient. But Sheng Minghui's words were too kind. That's because you don't know how much business eighth brother can get for Huang Yao in a day. No matter how difficult the contract is, as long as eighth brother is involved, there's nothing he can't do. In this matter, Grandpa Sheng still protected his grandson. After all, as the young lady of the Sheng family, Sheng Minghui had never made any contribution. Grandpa, I really can't take this lying down. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.